Okay. Dick.
Nice.
إذا this
Hey, you borrow.
All right, guys, what is going on? Right, little opening act, right, if you will. Shout out to everybody today on this Thursday, Throwback Thursday, Throw It Forward Thursday, right? Peace, power, and profit to everyone, to the family, to the traders, entrepreneurs, and the go-getters, right? Let me get this food out. I'm out here. I'm trying to eat and talk, right? All right. Shout out to everybody again. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Hope the market has confirmed whatever your buys may or may not have been. In essence, if you were able to be patient or be aggressive in either value of that. Of course, we're going to discuss that a little bit here today. Of course, just a small, somewhat of just a midday recap, if you will, of what we got yesterday with the Federal Reserve. Of course, I didn't get a chance to go live yesterday. I wanted to, but I had my hands full. I just could not make the time and the space to do just that. So I figured, hey, it's better late than never, right? Because again, we still get to discuss what a lot of us were already planning for and prepping for, right? So nothing new that we hadn't discussed days in advance. No more than what we witnessed when the market is pretty much throwing a hissy fit and just up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways. Again, it's to be expected, right? When the party is getting crashed, no one wants to accept that. Sometimes you have a few people still lingering around and not necessarily don't want to go home until the cops really roll up in there with, with weapons out or whatever, pepper spray, whatever. But outside of that, again, we were kind of waiting for, the data to come somewhat speak to the markets being able to really begin to start planning for a future of rate hikes that are not necessarily the bottom rung of the ladder of pushing rates higher, but to start being a little bit more aggressive. Why? Because we understand the credibility of the Federal Reserve and the White House administration as a whole, and all these economists, from TV personalities to banks, hedge funds, analysts, or whomever, all of their credibility has now been tested and proven, if you will, to be very sketchy. All right, very sketchy at best, very sketchy. Why? Because they put a lot of stock and emphasis in, right, pun intended, stock, right, in the fact that number one, transitory inflation was transitory. Number two, it would come down faster than necessary, than what a lot of people were planning for. And then number three, a lot of these people were calling it the market bottom was in, going back as far as like what 410 on the SPY before we make that last bump up towards 462. They were saying that the bottom was in. Do not waste your time trying to, short the market at that point, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, well, today we made a new 52-week fresh low in the S&P 500, going down as low as 365.72 cents a share. Let that marinate, right? Let that hand clap, right? Not so much of the fact that we're losing money maybe on our long-term portfolio, but for the fact that we're also aggressive and also learning how to hedge, right? We're not going to play the market blind. We're not going to trade blind. We're not going to trade with emotion. We're not going to do this whole, manosphere or brosphere or woman sphere or whatever, where we just got to fall in line with whatever, leader, ad hoc leader, whatever that they're throwing out in front of you. That's not how this stuff works, right? You have to be very prudent and you have to be very systematic in terms of how you plan and prepare for risk, right? Strategize on how to, assess risk in the marketplace, right? We're a big proponent of risk mitigation for that reason. Of course, we're not 100% in this value in that. We all learn. We're all going through our journey in this. We're trying to be more consistent with our principles, right? And that being due diligence and discipline every day if we're engaged in the markets, right? But we understand human emotions do take over sometime, and sometimes people jump the gun a little too soon. Sometimes people, wait a little too late. But nonetheless, in you being able to find that balance throughout your skills, building your skill set, I should say, you will find a way to, reach that equilibrium, with time in the market, right? As they say, time in the market beats trying to time the market. Even though we put trades on to actually try to time the market, right? When you say that, think about it that way, but it's based upon us, again, putting together a strategy, which is different, right? We have levels, we have zones, we have, places of interest where we say money may do well here as opposed to here, right? So that's the whole part about, again, utilizing proper research, right? Research methodology as a tool, right? Proper due diligence and scouring, a lot of different data points to get a more concise picture on what you feel like the market, may offer for you as an individual trader, et cetera, et cetera. And after that, the rest is up to the other investors, right? The hedge funds, the banks, whomever, right? So again, we're excited for the level of learning that comes from, just kind of watching the market from day in and day out, of course, if you have time to do so. But if not, you can also set alerts, right? That's the great thing about this market as well. You get a chance to set money alerts or literally money traps for your trades, right? And if they ping and hit your levels, there may be go time for you, right? You may get called off the bench, right? It's time for the dollars to go to work for you, right? It's time to put them on the field of battle and see if they can go out there and track other dollars, right? Go win some, some towns, cities, etc. So again, with all those things said, we're excited for the opportunity that this thing possesses on a day-to-day basis. Why? Because, people say, well, man, today is not a day to be celebrating. Man, look at the market is down, negative 4%, right? But okay, yeah, we know these things are plausible and probable given the nature of the ecosystem that we're trading around. The macro headwinds are very ugly. Again, there's no way of getting around that. So yeah, we may not be aggressively trying to trade the market to the upside because some TV analysts are telling you to still buy this dip. No, we're trading the market to the downside, right? We're playing into the weakness, right? We're playing into weakness. We're capitalizing on, the value that there's a need for the market to kind of pull out this demand, all this excessive euphoric demand that has caused the market to be in the problem it is today, in tandem with the Fed being the head honcho in charge, who caused a lot of the inflation that we're dealing with today with excessive printing of the money supply, overstimulating the economy when at a time when it needed to back off. It kept its foot on the pedal, and lo and behold, here we are today. And so now they're looking for every excuse to blame it on everybody except themselves, right? Which is the biggest thing that we know we deal with in this country. America has a big problem with owning up to it's trash, it's garbage, right? It's frailty, right? It likes to always pass the buck, blame everybody except itself, hide his hand, cause damage, but hide his hand, right? But we're comfortable in knowing that, we know how to read through the BS, right? We know how to sift through the tea leaves or whatever. All right. So, no harm, no foul for us. We're still about getting paid, right? One way or the other. We're going to utilize weakness as a way to be, a money strength capturing moment, right? And when the markets are balanced, and guess what? We have no problem with also playing that market, bump back to the upside for whatever value, right? But in the short-term window, right, that we're all dealing with here, not only as investors, but consumers. Well, inflation is ugly, right? You can't just wish that away. You can't print money and make that go away. You can't, again, they can't print oil. They can't print seeds to go in the ground, right, for food consumption. They can't print, lumber just to come off a forest bed and get, milled and all that stuff and then turned into whatever item, in a timely fashion that suits them being able to say, well, look, inflation is coming down. So guess what? We have to deal with it, right? As some would say, they have to live with it. And as the saying goes, you make your bed, you lie in it. And so that's essentially what's happening here with the Federal Reserve, Nick, now that they have to, back away from, the typical talking point playbook that's structured behind some kind of, writer, almost like a script writer, to continuously kind of, swoon over that of the American public to make them feel like they got this stuff in control, right? All these MIT, Princeton, and Harvard and Yale graduates, and they do not, right? It's been proven they do not have a grasp on this stuff as they was selling it to the general public every day. Even so much you had the president out there cheerleading as well. Of course, it's making a mockery out of people. Really, people really struggling and dealing with this stuff, and all the little silly, things they were trying to come up with to somewhat, I guess, call some kind of form of a backstop to deal with this stuff. It was non-existent, right? It was never there in the beginning anyway. Just a whole lot of smoke and mirrors is my point. But again, we were, very fortunate to utilize our think tanks, right? Our training sessions, our groups, whatever, to, work together to help one another, right? That's what it should be about. Again, you got a system that's, always going to do the system status, right? But for the most part, if people really, figured out how to work, together, at least on this front, if nothing else, right? We may be divided across a lot of other little, parameters or whatever. But when it comes to the money, or especially the stock market, the market don't care about who you are, where you're from, what you got, what you don't have, education, no education, bank money, none of that stuff that people, consistently live their life by and wanted to be seen, right? The market don't care about that. It's, can you put on a good strategy, right? Can you read, weakness? Can you read strength? Can you understand support resistance? Can you, respect outflow and inflow, trend value, right? All these different things that we're training to be better at every day. That's what the market cares about, right? And so when you're able to do those things and the stars align, guess what happens? Your P&L swells up, right? Your bank account gets a little bit bigger, right? And from there, it becomes a game of being consistent, much as possible, right? Much as possible, right? And so that's why we get excited about, what the market provides and offers from a day-to-day basis. Again, whether you're in a position where you can engage, every day, but, I would say, you like anything, this market is tied to your economic scenario, right? In your life, right? Be it your professional, whatever, everything is all symbiotic, right? There's a synergy there in terms of how commerce works, right? Again, supply demand, right? Wherever you may work, the output that your company puts out, how that folds into the American economy as a whole, right? The GDP gauge, if you will. So you're actively in the market, you're just not, directly in it, possibly, if you're even a worker. So I will say, yeah, this stuff is very important, right? Why would you not want to learn it, right? Because it'll help you shave and be prudent when it's time to be patient. You'll be that kind of person who's not out there just spending willy-nilly, and you're getting ready to go to a bust cycle in the economics, downturn in the market. Of course, the ideal of a recession, right? So again, it just bodes well that we stay, or we stay and say to people who are not necessarily of this echelon of, wanting to be engaged in the market on a day-to-day basis. But if you are in those circles with people who speak this kind of language, all right, or this lingo, it's behooving that you pay attention. Why? Because we're seeing this stuff in real time. We're able to explain this to people maybe in a more layman term perspective where you don't struggle with it, right? Or the fact that you may be hearing one thing from the government, but your bank account is saying different. The prices you're paying at the grocery store is what totally different than what they're saying. The gas that you're pumping is totally not what they claim to be in terms of they're saying it's coming down, but yet it still keeps going up, right? Well, guess what? We can help explain that to you better. Make sense? So we're excited for, the growing pains and the learning curve that comes from this. Of course, we don't want to see no one suffer. No one wants to see anyone suffer in this perspective, but this is just the reality of what being in the scenario or a country that hangs its hat on being the best at everything, quote unquote, whether it's true or not. But it does walk around with that level of bravado. And then, when things hit our shoreline or hit our, pockets or hit our government, then comes, this whole, it was, we were thinking it was going to be this or thinking it was going to be that. And it turns out it was nothing like that. Right. So we just, take the role of being better chess players as opposed to what reactionary people. Right. We're not checkers players. Right. We're chess players. Right. We believe and thrive on the 4D chess move theory. Right. The importance of a 4D chess move strategy is very vital if you, consider your future, your financial future as very important to you. Right. So you'll make the kind of financial decision that will be beneficial to your future more so than your right now. Right. Your present tense. Right. So again, stock markets are there to offer you that in a way as an asset class that you can obviously, get involved with. Of course, there's real estate, there's business ownership, there's many other ways, right? You can make money, right? The whole idea of supplemental income becoming a mainstream type of thought in your mind should be non-negotiable. You should always be looking to find other means to make money, right? Multiple streams of income, right? Not up for debate. All right, not up for debate at this point. If you ask me, that's just my opinion. Possibly, from where I sit, I think it should be, non-negotiable. Why? Because you're realizing now, putting all your eggs in one basket may not be the best game plan, right? Just depending upon the job only, waiting on the government or whatever. That's just not. I mean, that's almost like financial suicide. I'm just gonna call it like it is, brother. Call it like it is, right? That's financial suicide at this point. Right. Because again, the government is always going to be like, well, it's not this, it's not that, it's not bad. Again, it's no recession, right? There is no recession. Again, the Secretary of Treasury, right? The Secretary of Treasury, right? Or Treasury Secretary, however you want to spin it, like got it wrong well over a whole year and almost a half before she conceded that she was wrong. This woman is in control of the government's money. And threw her henchmen of the Fed and got it wrong over a whole year and a half. Guess how much, lack of planning that has now exacerbated the issue that you're dealing with in terms of inflation, that they could have got on top of this stuff a lot earlier and possibly fixed it or at least stopped the bleeding early. They did not. Why? Because again, their goal is to always try to look out for asset owners first, because these are the people who are lobbying and trying to push their agenda through. They dare not think about the American Main Street value of people first. Why? What was obvious, right? It's obvious, right? Taxation without representation, right? Again, let me put on my 10 for a kufi for a moment. You guys get it though. It's no secret. But some people that's in the back, right, who's kind of still late, right? Always late to the party. They always have to find out the hard way, and that's unfortunate. Why? Because people haven't realized how to be more proficient with their time, to go do their own research, to be an autodidact, to get what they need in advance, so they don't struggle when times become a little bit more testy, right? So again, we are the money cracks, right? We are the vanguard, if you will, in our own right, to be able to help make that transition easier for everyone else who is new to this stuff, right? Again, we live for the moment to be able to share this information. Why? Because we know we are a band of far and few between individuals, right? We can't have this conversation with everybody because most times they're more, I guess maybe complicated, or I should say they're compromised by other trivia things, right? And I'm like, well, what's more important than your financial situation? If there's a tightening of financial situation, why would you not want to be more comfortable in learning these things, or willing, I should say? But again, different strokes, different folks, right? That's not my job to browbeat people to try to twist their arm to get this information. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the people who are already comfortable and wanting to learn this, right? Their interest levels are starting to meet, at the place of opportunity. And now they're just seasoning it. They're seasoning up the moment here, right? They're not waiting, right? They're not waiting, right? They got off that wait wagon, right? And they got on the proactive wagon, and now they're making moves, right? And because of that, they're starting to see some success, right? Either through the education or actually even through their P&Ls, right? So to me, that's exciting. I'm excited to see people who come into this maybe for the first time, or who are, maybe old hawks at this, but, starting to be, getting a little bit more refined with, how times have kind of somewhat changed, and how they are able to, reapply some of those old skills with new strategies. That stuff to me, again, is exciting, right? I get excited for that. And again, I just, ask that if you are a person who's on this, journey, be patient with people who are not understanding this stuff, because they need it. They need the information or the briefings alone. Why? Because they're taking information from charlatans and frauds and people who are very bad, reads on markets and this, that, and the third. Why? Because they have other agendas possibly, who say, these TV personalities, etc. Y'all get my point, right? That just been, horribly wrong, right? Horribly wrong, and trying to call a lot of this market, right? They literally told you that the bottom was in, right? In terms of the SPY, again, we're just going back to that. They told you guys that the bottom was in way back up here, right? They said the bottom was in here around 410, literally 410. I mean, it was like this all clear, right? They're all clear, guys. Everything is taken care of now. The bottom is in, right? All this silliness, right? And we were like, from whence data you pulling that from, right? Where you getting that from? From where we sit, no, we're nowhere near considerably the bottom at 410, when you have a mountain of inflationary data that's starting to run literally downhill, right? Downhill, and it's picking up steam in this case, right? Because we saw inflationary numbers, they just jumped recently, right? Again, that's not by mistake. That was not by accident. That was purely by, again, the demand and supply, imbalance that's been spurred by the value of spurred by, right? The idea of the Federal Reserve overstaying their welcome in terms of economic stimulus, right? They caused a lot of this, right? They caused the bulk of this, right? And there's a certain portion of it that goes to supply chain, and of course what we did with COVID coming out of that. But the talking point that they tell you is Putin for all this dumb stuff like that. That's like, throw that stuff out the window, right? Throw that mess out the window, right? They are completely, peeing on you and telling you that it's a lemonade shower. If you think it was caused by, the Russia-Ukraine, scenario, like totally not. Right? But anyway, so, again, moments like today are just another indication of that, we are not in the clear, or not nowhere near the clear, in terms of how people were trying to position that the markets were just starting to go through, it's going through a shakeout period. Again, from my point of view, we haven't even had a hard capitulation yet, right? I still have yet to see that hard capitulation. Now, some would say, well, maybe it was today, was it? Like, no, but all it did was kind of make the move that it was supposed to make yesterday, dealing with the Federal Reserve, commentary and all this silliness that the market was just up and down and sideways all over the place. Like, dude, we're supposed to sell off literally yesterday. Like, look at this right here. This was all yesterday's, right? Yesterday's movement in the market. Like, you couldn't make this stuff up. Like, this looks like 3 or 4 days worth of stock movement that happened inside of basically from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Right? Like, this is crazy. Right? A lot of these algos confused, Wall Street confused, people not knowing how to, accept the fact that, markets are, having to go through their dry period a little bit. Again, interest rates are going up. What do you want? Like, what do you want? Right? The interest rates are going up. That means the cost of, the living goes up. It gets more expensive as well when interest rates goes up, right? Credit, values are more stricken now, right? Because of that, right? Who wants to be taking out, a loan at 6% or 5% for a 30-year mortgage right now, when it was literally getting rates at 1.8, 2.1, all that stuff lifted around the third quarter of 2020. Let that marinate for a moment. right? You literally was able to buy a house at a 1.92122 around about what, September, October 2020, right? Because interest rates were basically at zero. Everything was just, let's just bail everybody out, give money, pour money into everything, right? That was your time to leverage that window. Now it just the pendulum swung so fast back to the other side. It's like, bro, I was just filling out the application about a year ago, and I got locked in at a rate at 2.1, 2.5, or 2.7, whatever. Now you tell me I got to pay a 4.75, even with a 750 near 800 credit score. You kidding me, right? It's that kind of energy, right? Because as of today, guess what? The central bank or the federal banks, mortgage prime number came out today, 4.75, right? 4.75, right? And so that's just with the good stuff, right? Some of the good credit, right? Good credit. So you can imagine what it looked like for people who on the fence a little bit, with that scenario. So yeah, it was all good just a week ago, right? How'd the saying go? It was all good just a week ago. Yeah, it was all good just a week ago. And so today it's a new day, but for us, it's business as usual, right? It's business as usual. Why do I say that? Because it is. Why? Because we take the approach that we plan, right? We strategize, and then we execute, right? It is not hard to be able to accept reality when you know all the data that's presented before you tells you to be patient. It tells you to be very prudent, frugal, right? Again, you have to allow the market to work for you. Stop trying to make the market work, right? Let it work for you. That's the whole reality with when you put money to work, you got to let the money go work for you. Stop trying to work it, right? You put it on in a pre-strategy perspective, check all the checks and balances, do all your variable checks. And then when you put that money on, you put it on with the understand that it's going to go to work, right? Right now, you have the ability to audible and change things as it goes, but at least trust the process, right? Trust that you've done enough to put that, that plan of action into play, and then you just let it work for you, right? So today, again, you got a market that literally was close to your head down towards limit down. Of course, they slammed the brakes on it, roughly around that 365 and change area, a little under 360, 66, but areas that we were already planning for. All right. Most people like, man, y'all always saying that, but we can show you better. We can tell you, right? We can show you about the way of our positions, right? I don't know what you want us to say. It's just that we're being prudent, right? Whatever. I just keep using that word for a reason. We're doing just that, right? So really quick, let me jump over here real quick. Well, shout out to everybody coming in the building too. Shout out to Oba Chris in the building already. Chris Woods in the house, right? Chris Logic. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, guys. Don't hesitate. Don't think twice. Go support, the tribe, if you will, right? Happy to have him here. Oba Sunny in the building as well. Shout out to Oba Sunny in the house. Oba Divine full in the building today. Shout out to you, Oba, as well. Always happy to have you here, right? Shout out to brother Everything is Everything in the house. Shout out to you as well today, Oba. Shout out to you, King. Hope you're having a great day. And everybody may be listening, following along, be it through Twitter, Facebook. We happy to have your ears and possibly your eyes as well as you tune in. Hopefully you get a like, a share, right? A subscribe if you're new, and a like as well, right? Because when we come on, we go to work, we speak about the things that obviously mirror our interest level, and that's just that. So as it is known, right? Why waste good time when you guys understand that time over money is the greatest mathematical equation ever, right? That's our t-shirt slogan, right? Time over money, right? The greatest mathematical equation ever. It is. So I value your time is my point. I value your time. So I want to come on and provide content that is useful and can lead to some kind of form of a tangible benefit, not just emotional, right? We're not here for just the likes and the love buttons, right? On your little Facebook little timelines, like whatever, knock yourself out. But over here, we want to see if we can, put together a strategy that may lead to you getting a bag, right? A tangible bag. Shout out to family Yoda in the building as well. Shout out to you as well. Peace, Power, Profit family. Shout out to you as well, right? So really quick, let's jump over here real quick and look at the big boy chart, right? Let's go to the big boy chart, right? let's go look at this real quick here, right? In depth, right? Let's go have that, up close and personal moment with the market, right? Because again, a lot of people just, I don't know, man. They, it's weird, right? Just like we were saving this bacon, right? We were saving this bacon, right? It's out the gate, right? Let's go straight to the daily chart, right? Straight to the daily chart here. And the first thing you see is what? Levels, right? You see them levels, right? And you see exactly how the market did what? Ping, and it's pink. Well, let me do this. Let me make sure I have it blowed up, because I know last time I got talking it. Like, no, let's make sure we have that screen nice and expanded and blown up where you can really see it, right? So you see levels, right? You see what we had a level here around 382. Go figure. What the market did yesterday is, it spiked up a little bit above over what 383, almost up to near 384. But at around that same level that we had put in place there, right? So give or take, we do have spillage when you have a very volatile market, right? But nonetheless, I saw that level as what? Resistance, right? You have to hit it, close above it. If not, that's a resistance level, right? So if I put on risk for the next day, I'm putting on what? Risk above it. Hence, I did. When the market got over 383 and change, I bought puts, right? I bought puts. And today, what are those puts looking like? They swollen, right? They are swollen. Well, for the most part, they were swollen. I sold pretty much every last one of them. I may have like one left, if that. All right. And then when we got down to 365, like 70s, of course, I didn't sell at the very bottom. I sold down in the low 366, 366, 40-ish area. I didn't even get a chance to get down to 366 even. But nonetheless, right, a bird in hand beat one in the bush. That was already, a massive win from 383 all the way down to 366, right? In one day, less than 12 hours, right? But here's the kicker, right? When we broke below that line there, that 369 or 370, if you will, of course, we know the mid level is going to be around about 366. Now, I didn't have a midline there, but it was already understood in my mind because I play levels, right? I have what? Top line, right? Bottom line. Then I have what? The midline, right? It's like a lane, right? Like on a highway, right? You have that middle hash mark there, right? So that middle hash mark was, in my mind, was already sitting around what? 366, right? So as I saw, the market coming down towards that 366, and that start showing that, was going to break, the levels on the way down, 369, 368, right? 367, I said, okay, right. I'm definitely gonna look to try to see if I can get, really, like a surgeon that close out inside of the 366 range. And lo and behold, I was able to, right? But guess what? As soon as we got down that 366, 60 area, 50 area, when I sold, right, and we flushed down, it even went down to 365, 77. As soon as we popped back inside 366, around 366, 20-ish in the teen area, guess what I also did? I bought a swing call back to the upside, right? I'm just playing levels. Why? Because that was the extension value when I looked at the RSI, not just on the daily, because we've been talking about this RSI on the daily conversation a lot lately, right? The SPY has rarely seen itself at a 30 RSI. Literally, right now it's at 3166, right? 3166, right? Again, we rarely get that low and don't have some kind of form of a bounce. We rarely just go below and just stay below it, right? They're going to find a way to bounce it, is my point, right? So all I'm doing is just reading the market. I'm being, a student of the game. I understand peak to trough trading. I understand levels, right? Whether you use stochastics, MACDs, whatever you use, right? Bollinger Bands, linear regression trend bands, etc., right? Because as you see, guess what? My line intersects even on my linear regression trading band here, right? Literally right at that 369 area, right? 369, someone say 368, give or take. It's literally right there. Again, go figure, right? As you see my line here, it is right around that same level, right? So that level now becomes what? A demarcation line. It's a gun line for the daily value of continuation. Of course, if we close below that line, that's problematic for the bulls, right? If we are able to close above 369, right, that's everything that the market makers may have to try to implement some kind of way, somehow, if shorts don't necessarily just completely run for the exit and close out their short position. Because at this point, they're thinking like, why would I want to close out my short position, guys? I just got a 11, 13, 14 point flush down overnight. Anybody bought puts over 382, even 380 today, they woke up with a massive bag, profit bag, that is massive. And they still have most times, if you bought the SPY, you have another day on your expiration, right? These contracts don't close out today. They close out tomorrow. Mind you, it feels like a Friday, doesn't it? The way that the market just sold off like this, like, man, the weekend can't come fast enough, right? Save the market from itself, right? It's just Thursday. It's the day after, the morning after. As you've seen in my profile, the thumbnail, today is the morning after pill for the markets. We've seen this picture before. Last FOMC of April the 6th. Hence, I put that video out earlier, right? Speaking to that, the market did the exact same thing. Sold off, bounced back up, sold off again, bounced back up, tried to pull back a little bit, and then rocketed higher into the close on April the 6th. Couldn't make this stuff up. And I'm like, how? Why? What data are y'all seeing to make y'all feel confident? Because it's always a what? It's always the smoke and mirrors. It's always this, can't accept reality when it comes to Wall Street. They have a hard time accepting reality that the party is over. Right? You've had a 13-year bull run. The market needs to be, go through a reset period. And people don't want to hear that, but that's just the reality thing. You literally drain every drop of water out of the well. What else do you want, right? What else do you want, right? And the fact that you don't have people in this case in control of the financial department of America thoroughly doing the will of the people and Wall Street together in unison. That's what causes the problem to be exacerbated. Why? Because you're unequally balanced. You don't have equilibrium. Right? You want to have this economy that's, as you say, strong, but yet still you're not really doing anything to really bolster the workforce properly. The qualitative level of jobs that are needed, are not enough, to just hang out hats on leisure and hospitality jobs, which that was the lion's share of the jobs that actually came back to work. They didn't make new ones. They just went back to work. So they lie when they tell you they created jobs. That's a lie. People just went back to work, but they went back to stuff like that, leisure, hospitality, restaurant, hotel, stuff like that. Those are jobs that are more very volatile. People, quit those jobs all the time, right? So again, y'all get it. But the reality is that they cannot accept the truth here, right? And the Feds, Wall Street, was all, clapping for him, cheering for him. He was their man when he was just printing money recklessly, and they knew he was printing money recklessly, but no one complained except us, right? No one complained when they was making money hand over fist. As the saying goes, no one complains when they making money legally. And then when the data changes or the pendulum swings back to the other side, all of a sudden, outcome to what? They point fingers in this, man, but it was this, or they find an excuse to blame it on everybody except the person that really caused it. See how that works? It's just tragic, guys. It's tragic how these people operate like this day in and day out, and they think everybody is slow. Right? They think everybody is just that slow to fall for that foolishness, right? But of course, we're not, right? We the money crash, baby. Let's go. So again, you're looking at your market here. You're saying to yourself, man, I want to buy this market. I want to do this. I want to do that. But every time I try to buy the market, I get run over. Well, guess what? Maybe you need to do like most people do. Go fishing, right? Meaning put down your brokerage, buy button, put down your mouse, right? Matter of fact, hide your mouse in your desk. Get outside and go enjoy nature. If you look at the market from a bigger perspective, guys, we're talking about we hit 218 off the COVID lows. We went from 218 to 480 in literally under 2 years. And jokers are acting as if, they didn't have the chance to really make a ton of money during that time. Like everything was going to Apple, Tesla, Google. I mean, you name it. Look, even trash stocks, went crazy. Again, that's before we even talk about GameStop, AMC, but everybody was making money hand over fist. And all of a sudden, people act like they lost all their skills and whatever overnight, and now they can't read the markets. They couldn't understand that, okay, now the macroeconomics are catching up with the marketplace. So guess what? Maybe they need to be a little bit more cautious now. Start hedging, start putting on protection to protect their gains that they made via paper. If they didn't like it in, you start putting on hedges to protect that downside, which we were very adamant about 480 hitting around this area. Again, if anything, you're going to get a kicker towards 481. As you see, we have a line there. Go figure. We had a line there, a big line. We drew that line way back during this time around what? Q3 of what? 2021. We put our line up there way in advance. And we were saying, you know what? Okay, these are potential levels that we can possibly hit. When we start hearing some of the analyst targets that they were putting out there, the trajectory of the market was running into that what? Into the inevitable, right? The inevitable was what? Okay, at some point, they're going to have to start what? Raising rates, because inflation is not transitory. We were of that mindset. Well, guess what? Well, once this really begins to pick up steam and they can't put this genie back in the bottle, this is going to be a problem. So yeah, at most they can get up around what? 470, 480, whatever, right? That was the windows that we were looking at. As you see here, we got a red line here that's around 470, and our top side is what? 480. Why? Because we trade the market just what we do. Of course, I'm speaking for a lot of people who follow us. We use the market as what? A channel or a grid line, right? Or a kill box, if you will. The markets, if you watched it of late, it's been moving in 10 point chunks for the most part ever since we closed, below 480. It's been kind of hovering within from 1 week to the next, or however, within a 10-point window. If you were able to map that 10-point window strategically, guess what? You're able to trade the moments when the market was pinging inside of it and pulling back inside of it too. I mean, almost to the T. We've been nailing these tops. Hence how we nailed the top up here. Right when we got towards 416 and change, it couldn't break above it, close above it with strength. Guess what? I kept putting on puts up around here. Look, I was just putting on puts, like put on puts, put on some more puts here, put on a couple more right there, because the inevitable tells me that we're having mad weakness there. If we're gonna roll over, it's gonna be ugly. It's not gonna be a dead cat. I'm just giving a double bottom. It's gonna be a dead cat bounce. We're gonna flush through it, and lo and behold, we flushed through it. And as of right now, again, we're inside of a whole new 10-point channel. We're inside of 370 now. Hence, that's what I said. We have to close above at least 369, right? If you don't close, if you don't close above even 370, you're in trouble. That doesn't necessarily mean that we can't bounce back above it. It's just that now that puts more pressure on everybody that's shorting at that whole number mark of 370, or people who have stop losses now set right at 370, meaning they don't want to lose any more than what they've already lost. And they say, okay, I'll put mine at 370, right? And let that be it, right? Well, those things now become they take precedence over what the market trend is obviously trying to convey. If you're reading it wrong, then you're going to be on the wrong side of that trade. And as of now, what the market's doing, it's pulling back down towards that mid 366 region now, right? So yeah, and it can get a lot ugly. It's my point. We got levels down here for a read. 362 is definitely on the map. We got that line down there already in advance, whatever, right? We got the 365. We was only 3 points away from that 362 as it was there. Well, why 362, brother AfurakanEmporium? Well, because we go back and we always look to the left to determine the future. As an investor, we're trained for this stuff, guys, not new. So you see a lot of support or, a lot of aggregate value around that 362 and change area, 363, if you will. You got a moment there where we had resistance there, right? Now that level became a level of support when we broke and went higher, given that timeline. Let's blow it up a little bit for you guys. So you won't be seeing that squinching your eyes like, bro, I can't even see that, bro. Why are you doing that to my eyeballs right now, bro? Right? So let's scroll over there a bit. Oh, there we go. Now you can see a little bit more clear, right? You see what's going on right here? Right? So this area right here, right? Matter of fact, let's do this, right? Let's make it even more of a scenario here. This area right here, right? That's now, for what it's worth, that's the area of interest that you have to start paying attention to. Why? Because you have a nasty wick up here around 372, right? We know 370 whole number is just natural for people to buy or sell around that point. So that window there for 372 down towards on a low, right, of 355 or 356, if you will, are definitely areas that you want to pay attention to, right? Your 200-day moving average on the daily sits at 362.74. Go figure. That's the 200-day moving average as of right now. It sits at 362.74. The 200 on the daily. We know, we know for all intents and purposes, right? That's a very important lane at that point, right? At that juncture of it, right? So we watch those things and use those things to help us, right? Even though up here on the current status is much higher, of course, but at that point, that was a crossing point for that the assets of the 200 moving average, right? Around that 362.72. So hence, That's why I have what? My line right around what? 362 and change, right? Or 363, right? Go figure. Right. So what do we? So you guys get it. So today, we dropping, 3.5%, 4%. All pretty much this is just what the morning after. This is the morning after all the what when people who were again still trying to hang out, party's over, and they got sobering up moment, the sobering moment where you realize that okay, this is not necessarily the moment to just be super bullish and just buying like we're drunken sailors. No, interest rates going up is not good for tech. Interest rates going up is not good for a lot of what over I should say balloon PE ratios at this point. When you finna have basically a tightening of the monetary system as well, right? The QT side of things as well. Quantitative tightening of $47 billion. And that's going to go up, of course, in the month of September to 97 billion, right? So that's a rate hike in itself. Is just quantitative tightening, them pulling money out of the market. That in itself is a rate hike, right? It's like you could, as I'm saying, man, you could make this go up. You could not. And reality is that until we know a lot of the macroeconomic things, until they get better, that we at a point where we can read them, right? Not what they're saying from Wall Street or CNBC, Bloomberg, none of that stuff. To the point where we can go and find the data and discern what it is, then no, you're not finna catch me again. Like I've said before, I'm not adding to none of my long positions. I have not. Right? And he's like, man, we came all the way down from 480, and you didn't add on none of those long positions. Nope. And I've been adamant about it. Literally every time I go live, I speak to that. I was like, we planned for this stuff again way back before the new year. It was like, dude, if we finna have this big pullback, these are the levels we want to look at. We were already mapping out, down all the way from 480 down in the 400, down in the mid to the low 300. All right. If I'm lying, I'm flying. You guys, were right there with us for every lockstep. And we planned that this market was coming down to what, mid 300, potentially even low as what, 330, 320 area. True story, right? True story, right? And so, yeah, okay. Guess we're not as guess we on top. I guess we're on our square. I just say that. We're on our square. Now, what you do individually, that's totally on you. Of course, just for me. I'm speaking strictly for me. This is why I have not. I was actually taking profit, right, on the way down, if anything, right, locking in some of those gains, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to lock in gains. I was locking in profit in Tesla over what, 1,100, and then some inside of the 1,000. I was locking in profit on a lot of my Moderna, right, inside of the 350 area, right, 330, 350 area. Look where Moderna's at today, right? Guess I made a good decision with that, right, and many other positions, right? Took a little bit, shaved a little bit off my Amazon, shaved a little bit off a lot of positions, right? I didn't completely sell everything, but I was taking the lion's share of that great profit that was just built off a lot of euphoric, meteoric rise that was coming from the market because of what the Fed was just print money hand over fist. So that's just that's just being prudent, guys. I can't say it no other way, right? You can't dress it up no other way. That's just the facts. You got to know how to read. Understand inflow, outflow. Of course, we do a lot of stuff, discriminate to that, to teach people how to be comfortable and, checking, investor sentiment by value of outflow and inflow, option flow charts and chains, things of that nature. That's just another layer you can use as, leverage, amongst other things that we do, data points that we use. So, again, today is just another moment of, markets starting to, having to wake up the next day and accept reality. Here's your morning after moment, right? Here's your morning after pill, right? Hope you didn't get jammed up, right? The previous day, right? So a lot of people right now jammed up majorly because they thought this bounce was going to be what? Okay, we got this. We was pricing this in already. We knew it was going to get a 75 bips, even though they say they was ready for it. They wasn't ready for it. They wasn't ready. They was not ready. And they bought a lot of calls because the market is trying to scream to the upside, and they didn't take profit. Right? This is a market where we always tell people we're inside of what they call the ABC market, right? What is the ABC marketplace, right? Anybody know what the ABC marketplace is? All right, I'm asking for a friend right now. Check the family in the background here on the YouTube. What's going on, Oba brother Matt's in the building? Our family Jay Sumlin in the house. Shout out to you, brother Jay Sumlin. Oba Rich B in the building. Shout out to you as well. Right? What is the ABC of the marketplace, guys? Let me put it in the back chat. What's the ABC of the marketplace? Right? All right. It's time we start realizing this, because sometimes you just overstay your welcome. Right? What is the ABC of the marketplace? Right? And a little pop quiz moment here. A little pop quiz. Right? What is the ABCs? Right? What is the ABC of the marketplace? Right? Anybody type it in the back chat if you got it. Right? Right? What is the ABCs of the marketplace? Anybody, everybody scream, right? Somebody help me out there. What is ABC, right? What is the ABC of the marketplace? Especially in this marketplace, right? Let me put some emphasis on that. What is the ABC of this marketplace, right? What is the ABCs of this marketplace? Right? Anybody, type it in the back chat if you got it. Type it on, Facebook if you got it, Twitter if you got it, if you're following along with us. What is the ABC of the marketplace? Somebody help me out, right? Because if you don't understand it, it's going to be hard for you to accept. If you're going to put on risk, you got to always be of the mindset that is what, right? It's only as productive and plausible as that value of the or energy or directional bias give you in that moment, right? That's a hint, hint, wink, wink moment, right? What is the ABCs of the marketplace, right? I guess people still like, I'm guessing. And we talked about it before, but guess what? Let me go and help you out. All right, let me just put it up on the screen. Right, the ABCs of the marketplace. Right, all right. And this moment in time is like very vital that you live by this at this moment until things change. Right, basically means what? Always be closing. Always be closing. Always. Why? Because you can't depend on the fragility that the market is telling you from a macroeconomic headwind value, and you bypass that to accept someone who's, obviously, maybe down on their position, who's having the dollar cost average in or whatever, to convince you that you need to be doing, buying the market here or whatever, doing all this other stuff, when you need to say, well, okay, if I play the market off a pivot based upon a binary event, and I have the day trades to give or whatever, right? And I put this trade on based upon, I thought we was going to get this level of direction to buy. You need to be figuring out how you're going to close that position out readily and expediently. Why? Because you can't depend on the level of follow through that you was getting at a time when we had this kind of marketplace, right? When it was just, grind to the upside, even small pullback, grind back to the upside next day, right? When you have that kind of marketplace like this right here, which is very inorganic, look at this here. You couldn't even make this up. Look at this line right here. This line right here alone, right? That's why we had this line mapped out. Look at that line right there alone, guys. Somebody help me out. Is this line right here organic? Somebody help me out. This level of movement right here in the market. See, it just went straight up, almost in a thing there, 90-degree angle. Is that organic? Like this? That's follow through. This is the kind of market where it's manipulated, because you have accommodated Fed, you have fund managers, banks, and everybody just euphoric and happy and just buying hand on fit. That's the follow through you get in that environment. Do we have this kind of level of participation in the marketplace today to get this kind of level of a linear line movement? If you say we do, then hey, good luck. Good luck. That's all I can tell you. Good luck, because about that, right? So now you have to take the approach that you need to always be in a mode of what? Closing your winners, right? Taking profit. Here we go, getting ready to almost dang near break lower there again. Here we go down to 366, getting ready to go under 366. There we go, below 365. The selling is not over. Again, as we obviously see, the selling is not over, right? It ain't over, right? It ain't over, right? Again, it's almost, man, it's like taking candy from a baby, right? It's like taking candy from a baby, right? Man, all right. So reality is that until we know things are getting better, not from word salad alone, but from actual true data, right? Until those things become apparent, we're going to stay the course that we're doing, right? We're going to stay the course, right? That we got. Right. So, you know, that's just what it is, right? That's just what it is, guys. So we're comfortable in watching, you know, our P&Ls grow. We want to help people to be able to hedge. We want to help people to be in a position where they can either protect their long-term growth portfolio as well, or help, you know, them make at least, you know, some type of decision that makes them feel comfortable, with their risk levels, right? The mitigation values of that. And from there, we let the chips fall as they may. It's that simple. It really is that simple, right? I mean, for the most part, all the time we've been coming on, going live, we've been discussing this stuff. We've been, again, y'all see how colorful our little chart is alone, right? I mean, we got it. Yeah, look, we're very colorful. That means that lets you know we've been working, right? We've been working. I mean, all kind of pivots, line, angles, zero, and that's just some of the stuff that we did put on and took off. We've taken off a lot of stuff too. It's not even completely, you know, everything. So, yeah, it's been one heck of a ride thus far, and we look forward to the next potential the next potential ride, right? Because we realize what's going on here, right? We understand that, you know, this market, you know, by all intents and purposes, it's going to have its heyday moment again. It's going to have its inevitable proverbial bounce again, and we're going to be ready for that too. Why? Because we understand that the markets always provide sometime a great reset, right? We're having to deal with the idea of inflation right now, not just inflation, excuse me, a recession, right? And they were just afraid to even speak the recession R word. We were talking about the R word literally last year, right? We were talking about the R word like the beginning of 2021, coming out of the end of 2020. Right? If this goes on, gets like this here, the economic, you know, scenario side of things, if it gets bad and continues to degrade, it definitely can, you know, have one. And the fact that they're going to print all this money, at some point, it's going to come back to hurt the market if we don't have enough production to equate that of all the money that's printing. Then that's definitely going to cause potential value of a recession. And again, a lot of people like, man, y'all tripping, right, bro? You tripping, right? That ain't happening. Okay, well, I'm just saying, right? 4D chess move, right? All I'm gonna say is 4D chess move, right? Right? 4D chess move, right? We're not running away from it, we're running towards it, right? We're not gonna run away from it, we're gonna run towards it, right? And so until things change or till the data change, we're gonna be under that mindset and we're gonna play a game of really good defense, right? Really good defense, right? So yeah, so something to think about when you're looking at this marketplace and you're talking about, you know, or you hear them talking about, you know, well, we're in all clear now and all that. I mean, it literally was signaling that we were at the bottom at 410. They were telling you guys we were at the bottom around these levels right here, 415, 416, whatever, right? Go figure. That's why that area was a hard level of resistance on the back end on the way to the downside that made it even more of a problem. But they said the bottom was in here. We have our double bottom there. As you see here on our chart here, clear as day, there's our line, right? I played some hella calls on that bounce there, right? We ran all the way up to 462, right? But they were telling you the bottom was in here. We were like, no, it's just, you know, it's pretty much a stay of execution. It's a bounce. You're going to get that. And it overshot 450 and went all the way to 462. We had a hard line of a gap fill at 462. We actually put it up there. As you see there, clear as day, that was wrote into that. That wasn't no, you know, after the fact. We wrote that in there. When we start planning our levels, potential levels back towards the upside, we were already tipping everybody. Hey, gap fill 462 up there. Yeah, all this going back to all-time high at that point. I doubt it. But up here, you know, you get a chance to ride it from wherever up at least into that area, or as long as the risk is telling you that it's a risk on value up into that areas, you stay risk on until something changes. As if with anything in the marketplace, it's always as good as its previous moment, right, will allow it to be, right? Until something changes. That's why we say that a lot. Until something changes, you stay risk on or you stay risk off, however you look at it, right? But nonetheless, all that stuff right there, Jim Cramer, everybody, the bottom is in. Tom Lee, the bottom is in. Where are they today? Where are they today? I'm just asking for a friend. Where are they today? Bruh. How many people that followed them? Bruh. Right? Let that marinate. How many people followed them? Bruh. right? So again, you know, we ain't making fun of people. We not, you know, rain on people parade, but we're gonna keep it 100. All right, we're gonna keep it 100. Shout out to Miss Monica Lamb in the building. Peace, power, and profit to you, Ilba. Happy to have you here. Hope everything went well with you, right? We already know what, you know, what's up. So hope you feeling well. Hope everything is great with you today as well. Shout out to Miss Molika Lamb in the house. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. Don't think twice, right? Go subscribe to Miss Monica Lamb's channel, right? That woman right there is a, boy, you talking about a pillar of society? That's a pillar of society right there. We're going to give her flowers right now, right? We're going to give that woman her flowers right now. You talking about a selfless woman, the amount of work and she put out to help people when it comes to business and finances and government. Look, right? She is priceless. So shout out to you. Hope you're feeling well. You said you got your sea moss. That's what I'm talking about, right? She got a sea moss in the building, right? Happy to have her, you know, feeling well and happy to have her here too. What's going on, family? The chart stalker, right? Shout out to you as well today. Peace, power, and profit to you as well today, family. So happy to have Miss Monica Lamb in the building. So I'll get the link out to you guys in a minute if y'all want to come on the panel as well. You know, y'all know I got to kind of get through the commentary, right? I got to speak to the issue, right? We got to have our, what we call our little briefing, right? We got to have our briefing. We're in the war room right now, right? Right? We having our little briefing here because we want people to be very clear, right? And you know, understand that we're concise about our dealings here and what we're trying to, you know, convey, right? We're not a pumper channel. We're not a signal alert channel. We're not a, you know, buy this just because type of channel. We don't play that game over here, right? We're going to play this thing strictly by the books as best and much as possible. Why? Because we never want to give anybody any kind of bad, but basically we don't want to be the type of people who tell you to go against reality. Right? We're not those kind of people. There's tons of YouTube channels that'll give you that and then some, right? Again, if you don't believe me, just go to the YouTube. Matter of fact, go look up anything AMC on YouTube, and that's it, right? Or GameStop. Go look up that stuff. Go knock yourself out, right? We were even being honest about Bitcoin. We told you where Bitcoin was going, right? We were honest about Bitcoin, right? We wasn't getting all in our feelings and telling people no, but just buy regardless. No, bro, I ain't touching my crypto. I'm not adding to this stuff, not one iota, bro. Right? Until we flush out a lot of these the capitulation and weekends of cheap money that came on the back of the stimulus checks, and then we still got to get through a lot of regulation and adoption. I get it, again, I get it, but I'm not going to be telling people to be okay, yeah, it's downtrending based upon it being correlated to the NASDAQ now in the tech sector. And with a lot of companies like Coinbase, you see what's happening to Coinbase now. They're laying people off. You see what's happening to MicroStrategy right now. They're literally, as you see right here with Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, right? The CEO, Michael Saylor, he's literally $900 away from a margin call. Let that marinate. He's over $1 billion in debt value on that crypto position at this point. He's literally $900 away from a margin call. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. See how the market came down and actually kissed that 20,000 right there with that little wick there, or at least close enough to it here, and then bounced off or backed off of it. That was somebody trying to save Michael Saylor. I think that was the Fed saying, "Hey, I'm gonna throw him a lifeline." And guess what? It's coming right back to the downside right now as we speak. Couldn't make this stuff up. So we were like, bro, not touching it. As you see, we got our circle right there. See that circle right there? That circle right there has us around from 20,000. I got 20,000 down towards 19,500, 400, down towards 19,000, right? Because we have a massive resistance point there at that point. You may get a little bounce in around those areas, right? In around a little support around that. If that area goes, then look, the chart is telling where it's going at that point. All right. You see, easily 16,000 could be reached. Right, anywhere from 20,000 down towards 16,000 could be the first tranche. If that don't hold, of course, the rest is yes, you see, on down 14, all the way down towards around about 13. Right. So again, we've been honest with this. We have been telling people to buy it just because. I'm not going to tell you to do that. When I see this thing coming down like this, the way it's coming down and why it's coming down, I'm like, bro, don't put good money on a bad tire right now. Don't put good money on a bad tire right now. Don't be buying the may pop tires that may pop any moment, and you just think you just got to go out there, you that giddy. Don't do it. Right? So whatever, right? Do you, right? Of course, but we're just here to still play the game of we're going to do this stuff technically. We're going to be technically savvy as much as possible. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be right 100% of the time. It's just that we're being cautious. right? And we're just trying to tell people, hey, be a little cautious, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Right? It is okay, right? Annie, is it okay? It's okay, Annie. Yes, it's okay. Right? It's okay to be a little, a little cautious, right? It'll serve you well in the long run. Than you trying to front run what all this, it just gotta be, right? It just gotta be. No, it don't have to be, right? It does not have to be, right? So until people start to realize that, I'm just like, look, okay, you make your bed, you lie in it. But for us, understanding inflow, outflow, adoption, the way that the exchanges are blowing up. Of course, we didn't even have to talk about Celsius. We didn't have to even think about, talk about Terra Luna, right? I don't even have to have them discussion, right? Y'all know well enough alone. Just like altcoins at a point when they had all this ICO mania, right? When all these people were coming in, just had ICO almost every other day and sucking people in, taking their money. This is the same portion that we're going through now with Bitcoin. It's just weeding out a lot of those the bad actors. It's weeding out a lot of those people who are not who they say they were. And that has to happen. You need a firestorm. You need a napalm moment in the marketplace. This is our napalm moment. It ain't over, but guess what? At some point, it'll slow up. It's going to slow up. We're getting close, but we're not there yet, right? We're not there yet, right? And so when that happens, you guys will know why, because we've been planning for this. What's going on, family? Ramirez 7 Heavens, right? Shout out to you, family. Peace, power, and profit to you, right? Peace, power, and profit to you. What's going on over Rams in the building as well, right? Shout out to you guys as well, right? So again, just moments like today are just, some will say bittersweet. I say, guys, we were waiting for this moment. We've been saving this bacon, right? We've been planning for this. No harm, no foul. Again, we're just capitalizing on it. That's the best way to say it. We're capitalizing, right? We're capitalizing on these moments, right? We're capitalizing, right? So, it just goes to say, it goes to show when you take the time to learn things the right way, or properly, at least, if you will, because we say the right way is any way that's consistent, right? As odd as that sound, that's the truth, right? It's about consistency, right? And whatever you're using that allows you to be consistent, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And when it's time to audible it, you do what? You audible. Don't be that stubborn where you can't change up your thesis, change up your strategy, right? You have to be flexible in this, right? Show me a business person that's who's been successful and haven't been flexible. Find me any successful business owner who's been successful but not flexible. I'll definitely call BS on that, because we know the road to success is not a beeline. The road to success is definitely not a beeline. It comes with twists and turns and headaches, and again, you guys get it. Like that's just the reality, right? That's just the reality of things, right? Right? Look, use it, right? Use it, right? Use it, right? So we're prepared. We understand how this stuff works. We're getting better, right? That doesn't necessarily make us gurus and this stuff, because we're not. We come nowhere near close to that reality. We don't even profess such an idiocy around here. It's just that we're just going to play good old-fashioned technical analysis the way we're supposed to, good old-fashioned fundamental analysis the way we're supposed to, and good old-fashioned investor sentiment like we're supposed to. We're going to utilize those things to help us be very conscious in what we need to be doing in terms of when we put on risk or take off risk from the marketplace. All right. So as of now, as what we've been saying basically, for months now, you're inside of the ABC type of market now. Always be closing out them profits, right? Always be closing, right? Let me type that in the back chat, right? Always be closing, right? That way y'all don't get it twisted. Always be closing, locking in those gains, right? If you got them, lock them in. Don't sit there. Oh, the market is going to really, give me another follow through there. I'm just going to hold this. And you got like a ton of, you just going to hold all that money and watch it go away the next day. Right? Like, no, don't put that kind of level of faith in other traders and into hedge funds and the banks and are you kidding me? You gonna put your hard-earned money in the hands of those people that's shown to be very inconsistent and wrong more than they've been right. Now convince yourself that's sanity. I'll wait. Convince yourself that's sanity, right? You need to be in closing mode much as possible. You get gains, be happy, close that bag, move on. A bird in hand beat one in the bush. Do not dare try to play, No, I think the market gonna do this and do that. All right, good luck. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say is good luck. But I can show you on this chart better than I can tell you that. This is why a lot of people got what ran over. This is how people got run over yesterday, because as soon as the market began to bounce off that fugazi, press release that Jerome Powell's coming to save the market. I saw people tweeting about it and typing on message boards that what here comes Jerome Powell, coming to save the market today. I'm like, save what market, bro? This is a stay of execution. If anything, you still got to, deal with these resistance lines, these trough points, right? And these peak points, right? Until you, prove that you can take out those areas. Look, you ain't saying nothing slick to a can of oil. Stop. I hope you closing out them in profit to be exact, because guess what? If you get above a certain level, guess what? And you ain't closing above them level, I'm putting on some puts. I'm putting on some downside short attacks. Right? Call me the ladder attacker guy, like the AMC agents saying they're putting the ladder attack. It's a ladder attack. Well, whatever. Getting paid, young blood, getting paid. That's all I'm gonna say. Getting paid. Right? Look, that's why we're here, right? This is why we are here, right? This is not a congeniality contest. We keep telling people that, right? This ain't that band of brothers where you just go down with your brethren, right? Or grow down with your sisterin, right? No, you're here to get paid. Look, I'm not trying to test my motorcycle skills today. Right? I'm not here to test my motorcycle skills. Right? Let Joker jump on out there they want to, and just jump on that little motorbike, and you're gonna be all over the handlebars, and it's gonna be lights out, and tires gonna catch you all across the back. Right? So yeah, you might want to be a little bit more controlled in what you're trying to do here. And I know this is speaking more to the traders. Granted, I get it. But I got to speak that way because I realize a lot of people, again, they're comfortable. They're comfortable, right? They're very comfortable, right? Taking an approach that, they can't accept the fact that the market is coming down. They think they can save the market from itself. And I'm like, how? If the banks can't do it, how is your little puny money going to do it? If the hedge funds can't do it, how is your little puny money going to do that? How? I'm asking for a friend, guys. I'm asking for a friend. Right? How is your little puny money going to do that? Right? So, yeah, we may want to be a little bit more flexible, right? If you will, right? Again, I guess that's going to be the word of the day. Flexible, right? What does flexible mean to you, right? All the soft music and the clouds and flexible, because if not, it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it, right? It's not worth it, right? It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth all the silliness that comes along with just being, again, cavalier when you don't possess the pocketbook, right? Literally the pocketbook to change the status quo. Right? You don't have that pocketbook to change the status quo on your own, then you best be learning how to stay within trend. Right? The saying goes, the trend is your friend. Right? The trend is your friend. Right? Let me get the link. All right, get the family in the building. Right? The trend is your friend. Right? Without that, look, you up the creek, no paddle, no nothing, no life preserver, no nothing. Right? You in trouble. Right? You in complete trouble. Right? So let me get the link here, get that out to the fam here. All right. So just in case you guys want to come on here, I should be done here really short. I'm probably shutting down early. I got things to do, right? Things to do. All right. But I did want to come on and speak to this market because we were supposed to attempt to go live yesterday for the Fed meeting, but I just couldn't. I had a lot of stuff going on. That happens, right? But we're gonna talk about it though. We're gonna talk about why they say why the wounds are still fresh, right? We're gonna talk about it, right? So I'm gonna get the link on the back into some of the message rooms and so forth, and then get it out over here as well, and then let's get over here on the YouTube side of things, because again, right now is a great time to be really putting on your thinking cap and really starting to work through all this stuff as much as possible. You can at least make sense of it, right? That's what what it's all about, right? Because this whole idea of we were back, the market is getting ready to make a turn back to the upside. This whole June, right? The month of June, right? Look, man, June, like The month of June should have been the last month you should have been getting excited about. You got quantitative tightening that was going to start, and you knew that it was going to get at least a minimum of what? 50 basis points, right? The minimum was 50, right? And then you end up getting the 75, right? A hot 75 to the face, right? And we knew what was definitely going to cause that. We knew what caused that, right? We knew that was just more of what, needed to be done. Literally what? The last 2 rate hikes. Like seriously, stop playing with us, right? You trying to put out a forest fire with a water gun. He's talking about fighting literally 16% inflation with a water gun. 25 basis point rate hikes, 50 basis point rate hike, and you got 16% inflation. And you ain't getting paid no kind of level of a wage increase of 16% equated to that inflation. And these people tell you, oh no, this is natural, guys. This is this is normal. This is natural. It's supposed to happen this way. And blah blah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, bro, stop lying to me in my face, right? Like you couldn't make this stuff up. I mean, they just sitting there like, yeah, this is natural. On what planet? On what planet? Right? He making a life to self decision. Do you want to do a 50 basis point or 75 basis point? Yet still, true inflation is sitting around 16%. 16, 17% true inflation, not this old made up number that they be putting out there to y'all. Y'all think it's really 8.5, don't y'all? I know y'all do, don't you? You think it's really 8.5? I know, don't you? Okay, yeah. Good luck with that, right? Good luck with that lie. Smart people know, right? It ain't nowhere near no 8.5. It's roughly around about 16, 17% right now. They took out your food and energy costs. What's hitting you in the head more than anything? Your ability to go buy a used car, a new car, or your what? Food bill and energy bill every day or every week. I'll wait. I mean, they literally got you out here just, you just, I mean, it's not even, it's funny, man. They got you out here like, man, look, you have to let go, let it all go. Let fear, doubt, believe, right? Trust us. Trust the government, right? Boy, Joker's like, okay, yeah, jump on out there you want. That's all I'm gonna say. Jump on out there you want. Right? It ain't gonna be pretty, right? It's not gonna be pretty, right? So yeah, we might want to be a little bit more conscious, and cautious in the same breath on what you should be doing and possibly what you should not be doing. Don't do it. Right? Don't do it. Right? What's going on, over Chris in the building already? Shout out to over Chris in the building, man. Look, I know y'all been watching this stuff, man, and it's like jokers seem like they just can't seem to get it. Some people do get it, but hey, as they say, a hard head make a soft behind. So, what do you say to that? What's going on in your world today too, as well, Oba?
Peace, power, and profit, Oba and
Peace,
family. Well, I'm a little upset because I tried to get in on those puts, and the orders just was not feeling for me today. So, I left you to get all the money for us. Shout out to you for that.
I'm Ubuntu. I am, because we are. We do it collective. One way or the other, somebody gonna get the bag, right? It's not all of us, right? So it's collective. You already know how it goes, but it's collective.
Facts. Just looking at the economic climate. I actually had some running around to do today, and going different stores and talking to different people, just asking them random questions how they feel about the economy. Some people are just delusional. Some believe that nothing is going on besides the increase in prices, but they believe that it'll come down because sticking it to Putin, bruh. You know what I mean? So, and other people are really concerned. They really concerned. They paying extra for everything, and they only make a certain amount of money, especially like our elders. Those type of people that are on fixed income. They find it real hard right now to survive because it just costs so much, and the prices continue to go up. And just as you was talking about with Jerome Powell, I can't really believe that his choices was a 50 basis point hike and a 75 basis point hike when it should be like 100 or 200. considering yes that 16%, 17% inflation, and people getting faked out by the 8.5 by the CPI.
Facts.
So, I mean, at this point, all you can do is, try to save and cut back until, all of this stuff, brews over, so to speak, because they're going to make sure, we going to suffer. The 1%, they may be losing a little bit, but they ain't losing near amount that we losing, between the middle class and the lower class. And, they really just don't care. Like I was talking about, what was it, yesterday or Tuesday? All of our energy and effort is always going into, their policies, and it has nothing to do with us. They don't benefit us in anything. But right here on African Emporium's YouTube channel and the Urban Economic Empowerment Show on Garfield and Mo's channel, we for the people. We giving you the tools necessary to thrive, even in a high inflationary period where you can weather the storm, because these people do not have your interest. And you always say it all the time, but this is a game of assets. This ain't a game of, how you feel about a certain person that's a president, or, that is in a certain seat. That ain't how this works. This economy don't work like that. It's not an emotional game. So you can't be getting your feelings all caught up in, even stocks. You can't marry these stocks. You know what I'm saying? You got to strategize around that. Sometimes the relationship get rough and you got to maneuver. You got to get out of tech stocks and get into stocks that are banging right now, like oil stocks. Sometimes you got to strategize like that. And it's about strategy, because these CEOs, that's what they do. They dump their own stocks at the top. And guess what they go to? They go to the stocks that's banging to the upside.
Facts. And that's all it's just a pendulum swing. It's cyclical nature of marketplaces. They tell you that all day. Matter of fact, they tell you, like, they blast it all over the airways almost every other day, on CNBC, whatever. They talk about cyclical nature of markets and this, that, and the third, and when it's a time to do this, a time to that. And they still tell you, above all things, of course, and understand the risk and being prudent, this, that, and the third. And then when it's time to come down to follow those same talking point, out of there, right? Jokers just be out of there, right? They just be out to lunch somewhere mentally. I don't know what be going on. I'm like, bro, how, right? You can't be, walking around here, convincing yourself that, things are not what they are when they're brandished to you in a way where they are what they are. If you are a market participant, why? Because you're dealing with what? You're dealing with other people who are trading this market with either a superficial value with the way to look at it, or people who are more conscious about what's going on. And that's the war of the marketplace, the tug of war, if you will, right? Of the buyers, the sellers, right? Those people who are in between, right? Again, you don't want to be, as to say, the trend is your friend, right? The trend is your friend. You actively engage in the markets, then you have to be within the modus operandi of trend value. Because again, your money cannot compete with institutional money, bank money, this, that, and the third. Same in the forex market, same in the crypto market, the same way, right? When people get run over, well, they got run over because they either overstayed their welcome, or they, maybe their entry was off, right?
Right.
They didn't, the proper planning was, wasn't right. Not, you're not gonna be 100% right all the time, granted, but the game is that, it's a game of adjustment. You adjust and you come back at it a different way possible, or you just you take the L, say, okay, that's a learning moment, that's a tuition moment, no harm, no foul. That's the marketplace, right? That's business, right? So I would tell people again, find me somebody who's been successful in business and they haven't been flexible, right? That's a fraud, right? Because ain't nowhere you can't be flexible in any form of business. You have to be flexible.
Yeah, or you gonna find out. Yeah, you gonna find out you don't need to be flexible. Either way. But a lot of people catching the fall. You know what I'm saying? You know, the whole body dip crowd, they still around. You know, they still trying to buy the dip, and I'm like, bro,
Run over.
that's how you know these people do not look at charts. They study charts. They don't look to the left. They don't use the what box, you know, the pillars that Oba came up with, because they keep doing what they call dumb money stuff. They keep buying the dip, and
Recklessly.
man, it just makes no sense, man.
I'm like, they out here just, I mean, they just think that they think the bull market just like this here forever. Like, bro, okay, yeah. Them bulls trying to go somewhere else right now. Look, bro, it's time you let go, but let go. Just let go.
Right.
Let go of that buy button, but turn it loose, right?
Man.
Hey,
to them,
the hard way.
Yeah, to them, the market shouldn't be, shouldn't be going down. There's no real catalyst behind the market going down. But what about the money printing and, I mean, how long do you think, a propped up economy is going to last with a bunch of companies that are overvalued, don't really have, a legitimate profit share or profit making, in an annual period, and all of their money is coming from the Federal Reserve? How long do you think
cheap
something
money
lasts like that? Yeah,
high PEs, being able to kind of stretch the dollar, doing buybacks when you should be doing R&D, M&A,
right.
market acquisitions, CapEx spending. You're doing buybacks and just sitting there spinning your wheels and getting upset when it's time to be crunched the numbers. When the real economic headwinds hit you, then all of a sudden you sitting there looking retarded, as if it's everybody's fault except your own fiduciary responsibility that you're supposed to be adhering to. It's everybody's fault except yours. Like, this is the extent of how a lot of traders that came in, possibly on the back end of COVID. I'm happy they did, but they got to understand this is not just, okay, this is not the roulette, Russian roulette wheel. This is not the crap table. This stuff requires a level of skills that comes with you having to be, again, good research methodology, right? All the things that comes along with being able to kind of know what's going on within that field of study. You have to put in some work to learn about it, at least learn some basics about it, if nothing else. Like, jokers don't even want to do that. They just want to say, well, I listened to this guy. He told me to buy, so I bought. Like, those guys that were buying AMC over 60 and 50, $60 a share, $40 a share, $30 a share. Right now, I mean, straight ash. People are buying GameStop over $200, $300, $400 a share. Right now, where they at? Straight ash.
Yep.
And we can say that about Teladoc, a lot of the stocks, right? Tons of them, right? So the extent of this stuff is that, again, there's a time to buy, there's a time to what? To lie and sit still, right? Be comfortable in knowing that, hey, those moments going to come around again, but you don't just have a 365 period of just what, risk on, risk on, risk on, risk on, risk on. I mean, you putting risk on, not that you just watching your risk work for you. Like, jokers just out there feel like they just got to be in a position where they got to buy. I hear the people come on, I'll be like, I like that. Yeah, I'm buying today. I'm gonna buy some today. I'm like, ooh, like that little meme with Duke be like, oof.
Yeah,
like, that guy. I'm like, oof, oof.
Yeah.
Oh no, that oof. No, right now ain't probably the time to do that, bro. I'm just being 100 with you. Right now is not the time to be jumping out there with no battery in your back. Don't do it, right? Because the market is just not. It just ain't that moment. And again, it's not even this, reality where it's up for debate in some cases, because we've been watching. We're watching what we're supposed to watch. That's the part about it. Like, we've been trained to be really good at technical analysis, right? Like, why have this level of training and then don't use it?
Right.
Like, why? Like, seriously, make that make sense. Like, why? Like, this stuff, it ain't hard, because everything that we put up here on this chart has came into fruition. Now, every now and then we got faked out like everybody else, because you can't underestimate the power of what? Greed and what? People being scary too, right? Algos, we fighting against algos, right? For the most part, right? A lot of people don't want to square that. They don't understand that. You fighting against a lot of algos. So anytime, if we have a massive fake out for any reason, it's definitely an algo generate scenarios induced by possibly what? Banks or whatever. But for the most part, directional bias is telling you what's going on based upon the levels, the resistance, peak to trough, order blocks, supply demand, points where you got, massive inflow, outflow, weaknesses, turns on the what? MACD impressions, squeeze momentum impression, they change. RSIs, whatever you're using, right? There's a lot of there are signals for a reason, right? They're to help provide you with a somewhat of a semblance of a window of what this may look like, given this, given that, right? And if you again buck that, go against that, well, what's the end result? Well, basically what we're seeing right here, right? Yeah, what we've seen, repetitively, and we just been like, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, and we just watching stuff come down, do whatever. And again, this idea that they told at the bottom was it. Matter of fact, let me put a note there because I know we're gonna revisit this about a year from now or 2 years from now, and we're gonna be on the case study, and we're gonna be probably on some one of y'all gonna be on somebody TV. You're gonna be like, look, this was the time right here when them joker told you that what. I'm gonna put it right here. I gotta make put it the way I was. One of y'all keep talking real quick while I type this in here. Y'all politics. Okay.
And,
we should have put a note in like last year when Tesla was, I think it was at like 12. It was at towards the end of the year, and it was at 1200. I said by the summertime of this year, it's gonna be about at 6. Everybody laughed. Mm-hmm. Should have noted that one.
Yeah, y'all were all over this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us was like, yo, okay, they feeling really good about their situation. That's some serious confidence there, bro. That's some serious confidence. Bro. We were like, I just didn't see it. Right?
They still talking about the S&P gonna end the year with new highs and all that.
I mean, literally about a month ago.
Yep. And I'm
like, make this stuff up.
I'm like, what are y'all looking at to even say that this is true? Like, but sometimes you gotta look at it. These people, they there for entertainment purposes. Some of them make sense, and then they turn around and don't make sense and confuse people. And I'm like, y'all better stop watching them TV shows like that until you learn how to decipher what's garbage and what's true.
I think third quarter earnings is going to be more on the page of building and stability, because second quarter earnings it's going to be no growth. There's no growth basically in a lot of your major companies. So once that kicks in, and then once they do that next rate hike, I think everything towards the third earnings is going to be mainly on stability and growth. I mean, stability and building, because it's going to be a lot of companies that's going to fall off.
Right. You got to have that inevitable shakeup. And that's just the nature of business, right? Again, they tell us to sink or swim, right? And at the talking points that they tell us, right? You never invest more than you have willing to lose, right? Well, again, a hedge fund is using other people's money, mind you, other people's money. They're not using their own capital, so they could be cavalier. You're using your money. Your money. You have to be very prudent. See how that works? A lot of people can't square that in their head, right? They hear buy analysts come on and say, what's the buy side moment here because we see softness here and this is blah, blah, blah. They thought all these little numbers and data points and person getting all excited and, eyes get all shining. And then next thing you know, it start bump up maybe 2, 3 point, 4 point. And then literally 2 or 3 days later, it dumped about 20. And they be sitting there like, bro, but what happened? Worst thing ever you can hear a trader type is what happened? Right? What you mean? What happened? It's 2 ways. Were you hedged or were you overly leveraged, right? In that risk on perspective. Because if you was working from a place of knowing that there's a lot of risk out there, you putting on risk, then how are you not mitigating that risk in the same breath? That's like makes no sense. Right? So yeah, it comes a time where it just like, people are just operating from a place of just, I don't know, euphoria, man. I don't know, just idiocy, if you will, right? It just makes no sense to me. Like, how? You can't be serious. Not that we can't take L's. Again, we take L's, right? We take L's, right? But we're not going to take them with the extent of where we didn't put together at least, a good plan of action, right? A good strategy for whatever reason. The rest of it is just up to the market. That's like with any trader. That's why I just do 100% win rate here, right? You're going to take some L's. But it comes with knowing how to be consistent, right? It's a game of consistency. How to be more consistent than not consistent, right? Because from there, you have linear growth. You have linear, successes that bodes well into you being able to expand, right? But again, till those things become a reality, look, you got to be cautious. You got to take, the market for what it's worth, not for what they say it is, and you have to navigate it, properly. You have to navigate it properly, right? Under the rules of engagement, as I like to say a lot. Those rules of engagements, the value of the rules of engagement are there for a reason. They're there to help you stay, again, basically keep you balanced, right? They're there to help keep you balanced. All right. So, but that's it. So, man, it's just weird watching this stuff go down. Hey, Family Woo, you might have to go out and come back in. Our Family Woo that's in the building here. It allowed me to add you on one point, then somehow it's just not showing that you're not connected. It's saying your device is not connected. So you might want to go out and come back in. Maybe that'll help. I know it'd be a lot of the bandwidth, be all over the place. With some of these apps, especially StreamYard. StreamYard be on that craziness sometimes. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I mean, but yeah, y'all got any stocks y'all want to look at real quick, before we get ready to get out of here. I'm not gonna be on super long. I got some things to do here.
Oh, did you play Kroger?
Yeah, I had one call. I only had one call.
Okay.
And I bought it. I bought the 52s, right? The 52 strike.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we got that little run up after we got up to 52, and then it pulled back. They beat on top. They had a triple beat. They beat on top, bottom, and guidance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet again, the stocks pulled back. Why? Because look at the energy of the market today. And then the excuse was, of course, I was looking to find what was going to be the excuse, right? Because again, it's a grocery store, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was this 26 basis point margin decrease that they had put forth. A lot of that power was from the C-suite to say, well, you know what? Even though I know we got margin power, we raised prices in some areas, and we kept prices the same in some others to kind of help some of the customers. And they made that kind of call. Now, but they still beat and they raised guidance. You don't beat and raise guidance even with the value of a projection of I think it was a FIFO gross margin decrease of 26 basis point. Look, that means you can easily put that back on if necessary, but you still beating and raising guy. That means you still in sequential growth mode, right? You're gonna make more the next quarter potentially, given trajectory of your numbers. Wall Street still on goofy in their feelings and sold it off. A lot of it was market makers too. Why? Because it was a ton of calls going into earnings. I was watching the option flow chart, right? The chain. It was a lot of people buying calls because, like we had talked about, and laid out the case. Here's the deal. This is how they can definitely come in. They beat on all those metrics.
Right.
The whole thing that was in their mind was ambiguous was the gross margin value, right? Yet they still beat EPS over 17%, right? Somewhere around there, they had 145. I think the estimate was like 125, somewhere around, some of them like 118, somewhere right there. It was something like that. I forgot what it was, but and then revenue, they beat on revenue over about 1.5 billion, somewhere around there, give or take. And then they raised their guidance. Right. So again, this is just the extent of how, again, they just they cannot accept, that this is that kind of reality where, and I say, meaning, if Wall Street can have like their so-called, darling stocks doing all this kind of, beating and raising, they'll punish all the other ones. Or they'll use that as a reason to take capital out of that market. Because of course, Kroger had a nice little run up into it a little bit, but it was kind of trending back below its high, of course. And then it kind of trailed out around that $50 level, but yet and still, again, they did what they were supposed to do. And that's just the nature of the market, right? So that's why I always say ABC, always be closing. And this kind of marketplace, you always got to be closing. And so it was more of a lotto play, but it was based upon a strategy, not just complete lotto value, right? Not a lot of risk on from that perspective. And the stock pullback, and then guess what? It spent for the majority of the day, it's been climbing back, right? If you're watching it, the play came after the numbers, right? So it was more of a, after the fact move, right? They spent the majority of the day, fighting the stock, back to the upside. As you look at Kroger right now, it fell, came all the way down here towards that 48, even down to the 47 on the, wick off, NASA wick off there, and climbed all the way back to yesterday's closing price, tapped that area around 50.88, and now you have it kind of pulling back a little bit on the back of the day. But look, all this right here was already plugged into what it should have been on the upside. You know, granted, the market number one went just completely ugly today too. That also has a factorization. But for the most part, you know, maybe they want to get in at a much cheaper price, right? For the potential long, you know, uptrend in the future, right? With some of the hedge funds, they'll do that, right? They'll clean register just to be in a position where they can buy it lower, potentially for, you know, a longer durational window, right? Nothing you could do about those kind of things. That's just the market, you know. But yeah, Kroger, they did well, as we expected them to do, a pure play on the grocery store side of things, and they, you know, they somewhat in the middle tier value of what their clientele, right? You know, they middle class, little lower and little upper people shop. You know, they have that all different type of clients that shop at Kroger too. So, you know, yeah, I think they were well positioned. And I think they still well positioned. Of course, this right here just a blip, and so because I was trying to buy me some upside calls when we got back, you know, a little bit around that $49 region and cross over the V. I was actually trying to buy some calls and too busy trying to chase them. Them the spot put profits. I was like, I missed my entry on that, and you know, it ramped pretty fast. See, that's why it caught me off guard. It ramped, you know, from that point on up, like, you know, kind of went up and hit like 49, almost like 50, like instantly. I said, I can't chase it up there. Maybe I should have, but I just couldn't feel. I didn't feel comfortable doing it. But I told myself, you know what? Let's see how the market closes today. If Kroger can, in my opinion, if it can close above VWAP, I may take a small little swing scalp at it, you know, for at least into tomorrow, right? Because it fought back, right? It fought back all that ignorance, you know, that came out of people selling. That's their choice to, of course, but it fought back and gained, you know, some of that stuff back, right? At least from the preeminent drop, right? But we'll go into depth more, you know, as these, you know, scenarios begin to unwind, because again, you know, we on the somewhat of the back end of the earnings cycles. Others out there, actually, we got Adobe got earnings tonight, right? So that's gonna be an interesting one too. But I still like Kroger from a pure play side of things. On a grocer, pure play grocer, I like it, right? Me personally, you know. So we'll see what comes from that, you know, as time progresses, right? Yeah. So any other ones? Y'all got any others? Anything else? Anything else out there, guys?
What about Redbox?
Redbox is just typical stock that's getting ready to be delisted, and it's just running on pure hype until they get ready to drop the axe, right? I've traded some of the stocks like that. Case in point, y'all remember old school Elfin? I know you do, over Chris, like old way back, old Elfin. Boy, did we have what? Boy, wasn't that one? But we wrote Elfin from $6 all the way over 100, or like 100 $130, $150, somewhere around there. We wrote it all the way up, and then we shorted it and wrote that junk all the way back down there. It was under that same scenario like Redbox, right? You know, whatever, you know, but you know, it was running on something else early because it was like Bitcoin Mania. It was like Elfin, Bitcoin, whatever. Right. But it turns out, you know, they were like most of them companies, they were just throwing Bitcoin out their name. They had bad books, bad practice in it. SEC got a wind of it, and you know, the whole idea that, you know, they was going to, you know, delist them and all this stuff, and it was crazy. But Redbox right now is kind of somewhat, you know, not completely the same, but it's running on just euphoria now.
They said they was going to delist them.
Yeah, they're in a position now where they having issues with. Matter of fact, let me go to the chart. Let's go on over here real quick. Let me
because I was under the impression they had raised their revenue from what it was, because about a few months ago, because they have been running dry for a long time, but for about a few months ago they was running at $1 something, and what it was is they had partnered up or merged with one of the major tech companies.
I might have said delist. I might have been saying bankrupt, but I could be wrong. So let's see.
Okay.
Let me get over here to the news cycle here too.
Because I know Revlon, just like as far as the recent bankruptcies,
yeah, Revlon,
like definitely. Revlon just bankrupt, and there was another one that just bankrupt too.
Yeah, I definitely saw that with Revlon today as well. You're right. What was it with them? It was what was it? It's something that was dealing with required agrees to acquire Redbox shares drop. Chicken soup for the soup. So agrees to acquire Redbox shares drop. This was something that I know about that. It was something else that was something about a deal. It was something, or they had to deal with revenue. I could be wrong. I may be mixing it up with another stock too. Just case in point. But again, but just for the value of what Redbox has done, because you might just thought was at $2, literally what, look, if you want to say days ago, right, back towards May, it was sitting at, $2 a share and change. And of course, make that big meteor rise up towards 18 just recently here. And now it's what is pulling back, right? Of course, technically, you look at the consolidation, even where it came from up there before, consolidated at around $1.95, $2, made that run. Of course, there's your U-shaped bottom. It's just a technical move more so, wasn't necessarily fundamental, or it wasn't 100% solid growth fundamental story behind the value of the move. It was just a technical low float. Reddit got behind it. Of course, y'all probably saw that too. It was all over a lot of message board. They got behind and started pumping it like AMC. The apes had kind of left AMC momentarily, came over here to Redbox, and that was they knew somewhat, Moaz play, right? Mother of all short squeezes, right? And it bode well for the moment, and now it's pulling back, right? But materially, if you say to yourself, Redbox is a type of company that can weather all this that we're dealing with right now. And this, y'all know the company Redbox now. This is the company that sells DVDs, right? At Walmart, at stores like that, that little vending machine for DVDs that be in the corner or whatever. That's Redbox, right? So of course, it's just a great trade. If anything, if you ask me personally, of course, you see I got some levels here. I've been watching. I actually traded it. Case in point, I traded it, but that's it. I traded it, right? But that's just me. I don't see a growth story that's compelling unless someone just buys them out and repurpose them inside of their business model for their use case. But just making for a great trade right now. If you ask me personally, over Sonny, I just see it as it's been a great trade, and it has options, right? It actually has options too, right? In itself, which is odd, but not odd, but people are trading it in the breakout for those who are able to get options at dirt cheap when it began to break out from 2, and they bought near the money, man. They made a killing on them options, right? And so I did it on the way down, right? Went up and hit 18, and change started sputtering. I bought me some puts, right? Hey, I said I'm trading. I bought me some puts, and man, lo and behold, it dumped. It came all the way down like the 9, right? And kind of snapped back up towards 10, 11, and hovered around that point for a little day or two. But I made money on the little puts on the way to the downside. Right. But that's about much as I can
Yeah, I was talking about as far as day trading, because like I said before, the right now it's not going to be any growth companies as far as second earnings come. So that's not what I was getting at. I was just basically getting at what you touched on, like being able to jump in and out as far as doing it, making trades during the day while we had this bear market. Just throwing something out there because you was asking as far as what stocks to look at. That was something I was just throwing out there, but not something for long term. Of course, not that.
Yeah. Well, I already know you ain't gonna probably take that route because I know you've been a little bit more strategic, so you're gonna say, well, you're gonna have to really bring it. It will have to have a great use case, but strictly from a trader's perspective, until it can, again, turn water into wine, then but it's definitely a great trade. Again, low flow. A lot of momentum, you have exceptional volume because again, you got the apes in it, so if you're able to catch the pivots right, it can, make for a great trade. You're 100%. And again, like I said, and it has options, right? Like go figure, right? They even have options for it. So it's kind of unique, right? In that regard, when you think about it, And speaking about AMC, they got investors they meeting today, and the apes are pissed. So why? Because everything that Aaron Adams has sold them so far has been everything than what we already talked about, what they need. Everything, right? It's just been one. And so they all over message boards going in on him. When the apes turn on you, they turn on you, right? Because they make it personal, right? Again, forgive them, ancestors. They don't know any better, right? Mother Nature, forgive them. Yeah. But anyway, they all mad about this, up in arms about Adam, the CEO, as if he ain't been showing you who he was and what he was about
for a long time.
Into every big pop, every time AMC made a big move, he was selling shares, dumping shares, right? Diluting and selling his own shares. And jokers act like No, this is natural. This is good. He need to pay himself. They're making every excuse in the book for every time they just kept making excuse. I was like, boy, this is here. Just this is brutal, right? This is what you call cognitive dissonance 2.0 at just coming up.
Hey, you
It's
just say
serious.
he need to pay himself while everybody else diamond handed.
Exactly, right? You hold until and while we marching to the what? To the gas chamber, so to speak, right? The guillotine. Like you couldn't make this stuff up. And I'm like, bro, so they got this shareholder meeting tonight. What y'all think will come from? So I've been seeing on Twitter, Twits, everywhere else, message board, Discord. They like, man, unfollow. They like they so mad now they telling people to unfollow him, everything. But just a week ago, they were chilling for him. They were still skeptical, but they took this thing all the way to the exact to the end. Now look where we at now. Now we already double bottom off 10. We get it, right? 9 came down, hit 10 there. They already know this thing can't look. If it break, if it come down and hit that, hit that 10 again, bro. Look, all that it did, it going right back down there. Right? We were down here. We caught the first time, man. We made a killing, boy. But we made a killing on them on them calls on that $2 point. We bought them $350 in the money. Bought what 6 months to a year out. Boy, that just them contract went from what $40-50 all the way to like near $2,000 a piece per contract. Right? Look, as you say, it was all good just a day ago though. A day ago, right? Look, that day is over. That ship has sailed. If anybody can tell me material that AMC has what it takes not only to turn their business around, pay down their debt to be warranted at a $30 to $40 to $50 company, I'm open to hear it.
They gonna house us, and let us come stay at the movie theater for free.
Turn into a home.
No, hey, you know what you forgot? No, you know what you didn't throw it in there, that he had talked to the investors, right? To be on the page of trying to get them to invest their money to help pay down that $43 billion debt.
He been trying everything. He bought that mining company, HCMC mining company, a gold mining company. You in the business of popcorn, concessions, and movies, and you buying a gold mining company. How that fit into the business model of movie theater? You gonna show a movie theater at a gold mine one day? You go. Again, I get it when you can do acquisitions to kind of round out your portfolio, but how that makes sense? Think about that. How does that marriage make sense? That's desperation. I mean, at an epic level, putting all this stock into this so-called, their popcorn. Oh, we got this unique popcorn, bro. Oh, So people coming to the theater just for the popcorn, bro. Okay, about this old. Then came the NFTs, right? Okay, we got Batman NFTs and this, that, and NFTs, bruh. And them jokes were getting excited. It's like a kid when you get it. I'm old school. Y'all remember the old school snacks called Cracker Jacks, where you caramel coated popcorn, right? You get the Cracker Jack box back in the old days. Used to be a prize used to come in it, right? He was literally giving them boxes of Cracker Jack. Like, look. Here's your prize. You get an NFT. You get an NFT. I get an NFT. He gets thrown around these NFT as if them things really worth something. Like, bro. Wasted money on that whole campaign. That's another, again, and like you were saying over Sunday, the idea that he's trying now to get them to pay the debt down. They already paid enough of the debt down. Anyway, look, they took the stock from $2 all the way to $74, bro. All that money that they could have been. I mean, he was selling shares up in that point too, diluting it. He could have took more than what he needed at that point to look to pay down, if not all, at least a good portion, a third, a half of all their debt. And it's weird too, because a lot of the Ace were like, "Look, bro, don't dilute us, don't dilute. We're gonna take the stock higher. We're going mother of all squeeze, Moaz, right? We're going all the way right to 1,000. Remember, y'all kept hitting 100,000, 500,000. Y'all saw that stupidness too. Y'all were right there too, watching their jump, and we were sitting there like, bro, what Ace doing this week, man? They still on that 100,000 a share or $1,000 a share, whatever. I was like, goodness, bro. I was like, I hope they, boy, yeah, about that, about that. So I'm just trying to figure out. Right, matter of fact, this one here. I gotta show y'all this one here. Y'all already know about it, of course, but not only that, it had got so infectious in terms of the disease of all this turns out, I mean, they even had people like Charles Payne, right? Y'all know who Charles Payne is, right? The TV financial analyst over at Fox Business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember him and me, Kevin? They make the video, buy the dip, come on, push all the dumb stuff. They would buy. Oh my goodness,
Yep.
it was just boy,
yeah, them people
right?
crazy, man.
The fluff, right? like we traded, but I would say we a trade, but we ain't finna be doing all that dumb stuff like a lot of people doing, right? So we were adamant about that. But here, let me show y'all this here, man. Y'all got to see this here. Now, this is good when you go back and do that hindsight, the research right there. When you go back and like, look right here. This is 2021, right? June 2021, all that stuff, August and all this stuff, all this. I mean, this guy, I mean, he had like over 100,000. Remember Dave, what name was Dave Portnoy, whatever his name is, the guy that owned Bar Stew. He was all in it, right? He was all in it with the apes and all this dumb stuff. Him and the whole Reddit movement, it was just, oh my goodness. Then in came who? Jim Cramer. Buy AMC. Right? They were just salivating. Oh, we sticking it to the man, bro. We sticking it to the to the suits, bro. Right?
Wait, Jim Cramer was pushing AMC?
Man, Sonny, you know well as I know. You were around during that time. We were having a conversation about it. You know them idiot was over there. Like him. Again, even Mark Cuban got behind it for a moment. Right? And then he disappeared. Like, no, I ain't gonna attach my name to that. Because he was pumping that at one point. And he was help pushing Dogecoin at that time too. Remember? Because his son had bought some of Dogecoin. Well, Mark Cuban that did. But a lot of them guys like that was on it. Right? Jim Cramer told everybody to buy AMC. Look what Carl Quintanilla said. That's the guy that, to be on the morning show with you were like, wow, like, really, Jim? You gonna make that kind of call? Like, dude, you supposed to been Mr. Goldman Sachs, you telling people to buy AMC, bro. You really done lost your head, bro. Like, wow, like but again, Jim Cramer was telling y'all to buy what? Or told people that Coinbase was going to what? $475. He told a lot of people that. He was cheerleading, rap along with Kathy Woods. They were both with all of their little, they were just beating. Oh, we going, that's definitely going $470 or $500 a share. Coinbase. Let's go see what Coinbase said today. Anybody have a clue what Coinbase is at? I'm just asking for a friend.
Boy, Coinbase is
about the same as MicroStrategy.
They on their last battery, boy.
I'm just asking for a friend. Well, I mean, last time I checked, look.
It's got to be.
I need to back it up a little bit more. Hold up. Let me put some brakes on this thing.
Boy.
I'm just asking for a friend. I mean, bro.
They on their last leg, man.
Somebody explain this to me. Anybody, please. Anybody can.
Oh, boy, dump it.
Is this natural? Is this organic? Or somebody please tell me, is this organic? Is this don't panic, it's organic or whatever? How they saying it? So you mean tell me up here, way up here at 400 or something, now it's at 50.
Yeah, that's natural. That's natural.
The way it went up.
The way they went
up. Look at the level of red as opposed to the little bit of greenness. Look at the bruh. Go ahead.
Oh, but when's the next earnings day for MicroStrategy?
I think we figured out.
MicroStrategy is gonna basically do the same thing.
Yeah, they
especially if Bitcoin touch down to about 17 to 18, MicroStrategy is going down heavy.
They already in trouble from the CEO standpoint, right? Because that's a liquidity rip that the market ain't even ready for. Because he's literally what $700-800 away from a margin call, 20,000 somewhere around the level. He'll have a margin call. If he gets that margin call, that means he got to dump those shares. That's what a margin call is. He got to liquidate. That's going to take a lot of liquidity out of Bitcoin instantly. And it can easily flush down to 13,000, 16,000. Some of the levels that we was already talking about. Their next earnings are coming up on August the 2nd, right? Their next one, right? But just looking at this range,
over 900 points.
This thing was, think about it. He close to it. What Bitcoin at right now? I didn't check it. I think around what 20,000.
It's at 20,000. Yeah, but they got 5 billion. They have 5 billion invested into Bitcoin. So if they liquidate, it's really going to drop.
Look at that. This thing was over. This thing was up towards literally around about $1,700 a share around the beginning of 2021, and now sitting at MicroStrategy sitting at right now 158. Dropped 13 today.
I think that's organic drop. Now the
Boy,
run
don't
up
panic.
wasn't
It's organic. Ooh, boy. Don't panic. It's organic. And Kathy Woods then were buying, 700.
And
All that, those types, right? They were buying
Kathy,
in 700, the thousands, and all that, all the way down.
and she talking about, she ain't worried about, ARKK. It's gonna basically saying it's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm like, man, your stock gonna be bankrupt.
But that's a song by Kendrick Mark. We gonna be all right. How it go? We how it go? Something like that. Yeah. Good luck with that one. It ain't gonna be all right for them jokers because they over the limit and they get margin calls behind the door. They ain't telling everybody. A lot of them jokers probably get margin calls. Coinbase, like I said, all that stuff, just laying people off and saying that it ain't what it is and this, that. I'm like, oh my, yikes, as they say, yikes. Like it's that crazy. It was that kind of lunacy that was in the markets, guys, during that time. And again, no one was complaining if they felt like they were making money, but they knew there was this was not right. This was not. So we were like, no, bro, we're gonna be a little more cautious. We're gonna be a little bit more, we're gonna slow walk this thing, right? We're gonna slow walk this thing. And for the most part, exactly what we did. We slow walked a lot of that stuff, a lot of our positions, a lot of our, our values of risk that was putting on or thinking about putting on, even, however, again, I'm just speaking from a place where, hey, we were trying to do what we could to help a lot of what a lot of people were kind of missing that was lost in not necessarily having been through something like this in their probably trading or investing career, but also the fact that a lot of people got excited because it was just too many people cheerleading to the point where it's like you would be going against the trend if you took an antithetical approach to the market at a point where you saw something that was obviously organically flawed, and they would literally crucify you for that. You just a perma bet. You this, like, bro, I got long term just like everybody else. I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna put good money on stock that's getting ready to peak, right? Like, why would I do that? Right? Like that makes no sense to me. Right? It was just that kind of scenario where it's like now in hindsight, jokers right now like, bro, like, bro, but yeah, and so a lot of them gone, a lot of them got, a lot of people left the market because they got wiped out. It was just crazy. It's just they got Adobe got earnings tonight. Look at big old double top up in there, 650. It's down, 360 right now. Man, this is gonna be a wild one tonight. Either way, but the compelling case of what we've been dealing with in terms of, I mean, it has the best of both. It's cloud, it's digital use case value, it's everything else application. Dope is unique. It's unique, kind of like Palantir to a degree, but again, the energy, you got to think about the energy of the market too right now. It's just, bro, it's brutal out there.
Yeah, if it's dumping already, sometimes, when it's already down, they'll do something to the earnings and make it go up. Man.
Yeah, it's really a conflict with a lot of the earnings. And even with what they say, when you have numbers that may come in that they may prove that the company was able to, was doing pretty well. Like, again, case in point, Kroger. Look what Kroger did, It did the complete opposite of what, a lot of people were respecting. And that's just nature of the market. Look where Adobe's at right here. You below the 20 already, of course, offers at 411. We're at the 200, forget about it. You still got a little room on the daily down to the bottom of the integration band around 335. If you go back to the left of that, of course, you see what's going on here, right?
Whisper page over.
It's not showing?
No.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I keep forgetting. I ain't on Zoom now. Over here on screen start StreamYard. Yeah. But yeah, let me show y'all this real quick here, right? And I gotta go make a move in a hot second here. Look right here, guys. See, because you got a gap here at 330, 321. Chance of going there tonight. It ain't off the table, but look, it's close. As we know, when you get close to a gap, after you've been kind of playing a weird fine line of daredevil and staying away from those gaps when you done gapped up from whatever odd reason, this, that, the third, and you start getting back close to them, that inevitable value of it, you coming back and revisiting it becomes very very particularly scary. Right? You got another one, a small one here where they kind of feel that one there, but this one here is definitely definitive, right? That's a definitive gap down 321. Not saying it's going there. I'm just making it, hey,
It's the
When they
level
get
we can
close to
look
gap,
at.
they try to go fill them, right? They try. Now, granted, previous earnings here, you see what they did, right? They barely beat the last earning, barely, as you see, barely beat. Right? The estimate 334, they came at 337. On revenue, they basically came in line. That's basically you can say in line, right? That was last earnings, right? What did the stock do? It dumped. It dumped from 471 all the way down and hit like 420, right? Now, this one here, the estimates obviously are lower, right? Now, granted, the revenue got increased, but the EPS got revised down. Well, hold on, no, it got revised. No, it got revised down slightly. Not a whole lot. 331.77, 4 or 5 cents. But the revenue got a slight bump up on the revenue, right? Now, again, granted, nothing says that this is spectacular because you got it down on your EPS, which is very important these days. And you had a little uptick in revenue, right? That could be a one-off event. That could be something of that nature. So they're not going to be looking to check that as something that, this is something that they're really excited about going into. Now, these are things that has been revised, as you can see, someone either down or slightly up. But anytime you have a revising down, estimates are going down, that means that either you're sandbagging or you're showing that you're having sequential growth, because sequential growth is very adamant. You have an uptick on your estimates per every quarter. Make sense? That ain't rocket science, right? You're guiding down, that means you're in trouble, right? In some value, right? And this is a tech stock. Y'all know stocks are up against high interest rates right now. No, not rocket science there too. I'm just making a kind of overview of this. This is not me going into the weeds here. This is overview. Don't y'all take this whatever. But I'm just saying,
you're just laying out, like
the common sense case.
Yeah.
Right. That's all it is. The common sense case in that. So yeah, you gotta, there's a lot of things going on. Then of course you low on the RSI, you ain't 30, but you at 35, right? Granted, it's down there. Right. Last earning, the RSI was obviously much higher, so it wouldn't matter there. Here you had an RSI around the same, somewhere in the middle, and it didn't necessarily matter. Up here you had an RSI that was kind of up some, not overbought, but it's sold off. But ultimately, if you look at Adobe over this last 3 earnings, it's sold off every time. This earnings here, right? They beat top and bottom. Start next day, sold off. This one here, earnings this day, right? Sold off, right? This one here, this day right here, the recent one, earnings, sold off. And the stock just been coming down. It started to tighten up a little bit though, granted, but it's still after this latest move, lost 20-day moving average here, because the broader market's coming down too. That don't bode well for Adobe.
Nope.
Right. And if they do get a sympathy bump up, yeah, at most they may try to run it back up toward where, at least where the gap, this latest gap around 390. That would be best case. 381 possibly. Again, greatest case would be again up toward 400, toward that 20 move average or a little bit higher, right? But outside of that, man, again, trend value alone paints this thing down. It's starting to build somewhat of a falling wedge, but just like we did that thing with Netflix, the same way, it looks just like Netflix to a degree. That without all major gaps, right? That Netflix had gapping down, but it looks about the same. But that's just a shell of the use case, right? The shell of the the overall potential energy that may be surrounded around this space, right? Before you go into the weeds and figure out what where's the money coming from in terms of the different portfolio values within Adobe, what is it looking like in terms of the competitors, this, that, and the third, right? So whatever, right? It can go either way, but I'm watching it tonight. Oh, dude, sorry about this, Sister Mo. I had to come over and let you in. But yeah, some worth watching. Now I'm not trading Adobe tonight, me personally, just putting it out there, but I may paper trade it just on GP. I got an idea, from a little bit of soft research I was doing through early in the week, but I didn't really do nothing heavy on it. It's just been dumping, man, because ever since it was up near in that 440 area and just kind of dumped really fast, right off of 430, 440. It ain't really left a whole lot of meat on the bone, right? For sure. So you had to get short up there. You see what I'm saying? Because now it could be an IV crush. They may just send it nowhere, right? And just kill everybody on puts and calls. The only people make money is iron condors or people who had spreads or whatever, right? Sellers, right? Premium sellers. But after a day like today in the stock market, man, it's like, bruh, right? Anything still can happen, but it is definitely slim pickings out there, Right. I think that's like the only one that this tonight. This only notable one. I think everything else is just like yeah. Actually, only one other company. This company called ProFrac Holding, right? So that's notable ones after hours. You saying that stock worth like $22, right? So this company is actually new too, so it's almost like a new IPO to a degree. But they're the only ones that have earnings tonight. Of notable value. So it's slim pickings out there for that. So a lot of people probably gonna try to crowd in and trade Adobe because ain't nothing else out there they can trade, right? People who going through gambling for remorse, right? Because the broader market is kicking them in the teeth right now. They're like, bro, I gotta trade stuff. All right. They're gonna go try to trade Adobe tonight. As a matter of fact, let's run over look at the option flow chart real quick. What's going on, Sister Mo? Peace, power, and profit, Sister Monica in the building. Shout out to you.
Peace, power, and profit, y'all.
How you feeling? How's
profit, Mo?
Oh, I'm good. I'm not sick. Them people false positive. Them clowns kept me from having surgery. They kicked me out.
Oh, really?
Yep. I got to the hospital at 5:30 a.m. and they was like, we don't have you on the schedule. And I'm like, what? They was like, are you sure you're supposed to have surgery? I was like, yes. And so I showed them my paperwork and they was like, well, we don't have you. So I don't know what to tell you. I said, so I went back home. I waited to call the doctor at 9 o'clock and they was like, oh, you tested positive for COVID. I'm like, what? I ain't got no COVID. So I ain't got no darn COVID. Y'all lying.
Trying to get you with another jab, baby.
Nah, I ain't taking no more shots. I done took enough. I don't know. So they didn't.
That is weird. Super weird.
Very weird. And I was
like this is a hospital. This is record keeping 101, right? Like right.
Yeah. I see y'all call me and text me and email me for everything else. And you couldn't tell me yesterday that I had COVID. You know where I was at the VA the day before and I was doing vitals and all that extra stuff. Right. I was like, I don't have no temperature. I had nothing going on. So, okay, who screwed up and then put my schedule in and now y'all trying to cover it with a little positive COVID test.
Wow.
But yeah, so
that is wow.
I couldn't do it. So I had to go, you never know what you don't know. So I had to come quarantine, stay stuck in the house for 10 days until,
things balance out. Man, that's weird.
Yeah, I had to reschedule all the way to August. And so, I got everybody and their mama saying it's a conspiracy and maybe I shouldn't be doing it and all this extra stuff. I'm like,
right. Oh, yeah, maybe that's the so-and-so.
Yeah.
Right. You know how that go.
Call and check. I say, so how I get rid of them. I'd be like, oh, I'm just about to go take my sea moss. Oh, there you go with that sea moss.
See, that right
That's
there.
how you got COVID in the first place.
See, you don't want to deal with nature, right? Juggle don't want to deal with nature. They want to deal with everything except nature, right? Boy, I tell you, boy, Juggle's out there.
That's how you got it in the first place. You talking about some black seed oil and some elderberry and some burdock. I say,
see how they do you?
I say, well, if I have COVID though, that sea moss holding the system down because I don't got no symptoms. I'm just over here chilling. I did all my little housing packets. I said I'm gonna run out of work in a minute.
they just gave you a minute vacation and nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you understand the plight of what you're trying to do here, and what's the the benefit. Going that route, that's your decision to make. Of course, there ain't nobody else's. Even the hospital, because if they didn't provide a service, then they ain't do your job, right? You had one job. Them blew that, right?
And they done blew that. I was like, okay, y'all already know I didn't want to do this in the first place. Now, don't make me change my mind.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Like they aren't playing around.
Yep.
And of course, they paid for anyway insurance, and like, y'all gonna let that bag go. Okay.
Y'all about to get paid. Them bills be no joke. I was like, well, so they wanted to schedule me in July. I was like, if y'all think I'm about to let y'all ruin my whole summer, shit, y'all better catch me in August.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we sit around acting like you ain't got things to do or whatever, and plans and timelines and stuff. Man, ain't joking be tripping, man.
I was like, well, get back on my little workout regimen, get back on my vitamins, forget y'all. I'll see y'all in August. And I'm gonna keep my trip. I'm gonna keep my little plans and keep it moving. I'm not about to play with y'all like this. They got going. I ain't even try to, go do no investigations. I was just like, well, push it to August because you're not gonna ruin my summer for
Yeah,
I
yeah. At
get
this
back
point,
there, y'all talking about I got some. I said, I guess since I ain't never had COVID, you had to put the stamp on me, huh? So you can get
they
some
just
money.
had to give it. They just had to put on your
Yeah,
paperwork. That's how they do you. Them jokers dusted, boy. They dusted.
yeah.
Dusted.
Let's go.
Off
Let's
the
go.
chain.
Hey, look, something happened. Let's go on and blame it on COVID.
Right.
she she
So
had
that's a bag. You know how they playing that game. They playing that bad game.
they
I
got
came in here for toenail fungus, bro. You got COVID.
yeah.
What I do? Yeah, toenail fungus, bro.
I get
You
COVID
got
from
COVID, bro. You got COVID.
you remember
And
when
we got to treat you too. Just diagnosing you, that's $1,000.
yeah.
That's $1,000 just to
Give it to
diagnose
you regardless. You
Yes.
don't even need no shot.
When
Right.
when
You
David
know what
had
I'm saying?
when David had fell and hit his head and he was in the hospital, they told me he had COVID. Now David's in a critical situation, but he's supposed to have COVID, but he's sitting there chilling. I was like, you don't look like you got no COVID to me.
Right.
He's sitting there chilling, like, I'm just waiting for my head my little sweater to go
Right.
down my
Yeah,
head.
from the hill. Yeah.
Yeah. And there ain't no signs, no nothing, no sniffing, no coughing, no fever, no
Not a
nothing.
nothing.
But he got COVID. They just did it to my veteran friend who fell in New Orleans, was in a critical condition. As soon as we gonna go down there and visit. Oh, he got COVID. Y'all can't come in the hospital. What? Man, these people crazy. I don't know. Everybody got COVID. Like I said.
And that's crazy too, because they really pushing it. They are really pushing it. So
Yep. So yeah, I'm fine though. I don't I've just been monitoring myself just in case, to make sure everybody who was around me, 2 people tested positive, but none of us are sick. We all vets. We had a veteran meeting that the day I took my test, we had a veterans meeting, and so they were the only people that I were around. But no other veteran tested positive. So, but all of us are doing good. Okay, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how they go. And I mean, I ain't trying to be sick, but the whole idea, and I get ready to do something big, and then they gonna stop me in my tracks. It's all good though.
yeah, like I say, no, they no harm, no foul. They just gave you time to,
Yep.
They gave you what they call a medical excuse to kind of get you some R&R and
Yep.
whatever. Like you say, hey,
Yep.
and if they tell you got some COVID, you got what? So you gotta worry about people that pop up at your house. Not to say that's happened, but I'm in quarantine, so y'all give me 50 feet. Give me 50 feet, Joker.
Hey, look, somebody knocked on my door today. I peeped. I said, I got COVID.
Right, give me 50 feet, boy. You get some downtime.
No visitors. No visitors. That's right. Don't come over here. Don't come borrow no money. Don't come over here trying to do nothing. I got COVID.
Right.
Everything got COVID. My transfer got COVID too, so it can't cash out you.
Right. See what I'm saying? It's like, look, right here. I'm on straight quarantine right now. See y'all in about a couple weeks, basically.
Y'all in July.
That's it.
Yes,
I'm talking about.
it's crazy. So yeah, I'm
Good
chilling.
that you're okay and everything. Well, regardless of the situation. So I know you
uh,
capitalize on it, so you probably can get your little time to focus on probably even the market a little bit, with a little bit of that time as well. And
yeah.
however, that works for you in that regard, as they say, time where you can focus for a change is, and sit down. That's a good thing.
I actually been listening to the market all day. Commentary from the market all day. From Tasty Works. I was listening in on Tasty Works.
Yeah, yep. The guys over there. Yep.
Yeah.
So again, just way to kind of soak up some game. That's...
And Dr. Johnson won. And look, his opponent gonna try to say, I want a recount. I said, oh, look at that.
People gotta try. They gotta try, right? They gonna have to try.
The count wasn't right. I want to he won I think he won about 112 votes or something like that.
Nice.
She told me she want to recount. Girl, go sit down.
Now you might want to waste your time. Shout out to Dr. Johnson, right? Dr. Johnson making things happen. House of Representative member, right?
Yep.
And again, that ideal of, you know, being in that kind of political theater at this point is vital because, again, you know, we know that that's, boy, it's that's no conversation for another day. I know I don't want to get on my little soapbox, but boy, it needs to be a major shakeup in Washington, you know, my little backyard here. And I tell you, it's a hot mess, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna need people who are really about, you know, about their life.
Yes,
and not so much just speaking about it. And he's definitely one, you know.
I wish he was on the Congress, you know, on the federal side. I mean, we definitely need him on the state side, but man, we definitely could use him and his tenacity on the federal side as well. And I found it interesting. Nobody ran against Tim Scott.
Yeah, well, it's South Carolina.
You
It's South Carolina. About best way you can put it, sis. It's South Carolina, boy. It needs to be a big shakeup. That's why I say that even the whole issue with Marcellus, right?
Yeah.
They pretty much botched this whole election. They ain't have his name right on the ballot.
Nope.
Some people say they didn't even see it. It was a mess. They really went with a sabotage his scenario. I was like, golly, if they couldn't make it any more blatant than that, boy, they better not let Trump see that. Because Trump was like, see, I told y'all, see? Right? And even though dude, the Democrat, he'll still be like, look, I told y'all, see, they really botched it, right? And Clyburn, oh my goodness.
I had to for his too. I was like, where's that race? And the only way you know what race he was in is you look for Clyburn's name.
Yep. That's how most people trying to track him because they literally had his name on. Like I said, we'll talk about it again.
I know.
It was just a mess. But again, shout out to Dr. Johnson though. Again, for the people, real quick, this is give his full credentials again, Miss Monica.
Which one? Who we talking about?
Dr. Johnson.
Oh, he's a House of Representative District 70, and he has a PhD. So, Representative Jermaine Johnson, one of our little career experts, and he's going to be over District 70 here in South Carolina.
Young brother too. Young brother.
Jermaine is oh my God,
young.
30.
Yeah, he like early 30s if anything. Yeah. No more than mid, early 30s.
And let me add, gotta give her props. His wife is also PhD. She's a pharmacist. She's very, very skilled. She's a have his back, very humble. They graduated College of Charleston graduates. So listen, Jermaine's so boots on the ground. With those young males, with everybody, but in particularly, with the young males, he's getting resolutions put in, bills passed. He's user friendly with the other side of the aisle, trying to make some things happen. And of course, as far as everything that we're doing in the community, whether it's youth camps, whether it's a feeding program, whether it's housing repairs, you name it. He shows up to almost every event in the community. Like, he's there, and if he don't have something else going on, he'll stay the entire time, or he'll spend his 15-30 minutes and boom, he's off to the next one. Like, he's really into his community. He's working with something with solar panel, a solar farm. So he has this project in a local area where they're doing solar farms, and he's going to take $20,000 a year of those profits, and he's going to use those funds to help pay utility bills or help with rental expenses for low income individuals who need help. So that would be his contribution back to the community, and that is actually in the process going forth now. Man, he's doing some work. Listen, I've seen some Miss Bernie Scott, which is a former county council, put her, get on the grounds, go through neighborhoods, walk, talk, make some things happen. So he's like the second person I've actually seen in politics that didn't just go tuck in an office somewhere and you can't find them. If something going on in the community, all you gotta do is look for the tall guy. Jermaine is there. And if you have nonprofit organization. The discretionary funds, I'm not sure what other states are doing, but I know in the Carolinas, the state has discretionary money they give out nonprofits, and the counties as well as the city. And he allocates, he puts his bid in, for your organization if you got a good program going on out there. So we have, and I say we because I'm unaffiliated with all of them. Opioid clinic, a community clinic that he's helped fund. We have the housing program he helped fund. We have our youth academy. We working with the South Carolina Youth Challenge, which is on McGrady out there with the at risk or resource kids. The military academy. He's helped fund that. He's helped the veterans, Lower Richland veterans formation, with what they're doing with the vets. Like man, if you are having an issue or if you're really doing some really good work in the community and you need some funding, he'll sponsor and get the other people to sign on to it so you could get funding. So we talk a lot about, when you hear people talk about politics, and they always say, make sure you guys get with the local first, don't wait just the presidential. We are a prime example on how to put your vote behind a candidate who's going to come and work for the people. And he has done that. Senator Jackson, which is one of our state senators, Norman, we had a couple of them that has done a outstanding job. And could we get more? There's always a possibility and a room for increase in what you have going on. But for starters, and showing yourself approved, we get increases by how well we do with our program and how visible we are. And so because we have done really good work and very transparent, and when they audit us, we have our receipts and all that great stuff. They continue to fund us. So if you all are working in your communities and you're not working with the politics who actually have because each one of our representatives get 164,000 that they can distribute out. And for some people, they may be like, oh, that's not a lot of money. But one thing about when you're trying to do grants, if you don't have nobody else signing on to what you're doing, then sometimes it's difficult for you to get grants from other places. And so that's like a stepping stone for you, or a startup cost for you to actually solicit other places so they can see that if your state is supporting you, then they will support you too. So you can get funding from the representative, and you can get funding from the county, which is another 10,000, or tax money or hospitality money for what you're doing. That's a big help to what you have to do your part and fundraise as well. So our discretionary funds, I actually could truly say I see we get some of our tax dollars back. Can't speak for the states, and definitely got to shake Dr. Johnson, Representative Johnson's hand for being a contributing factor or a sponsor of some of those programs. And he took the place of the late Representative Jimmy Bales, which actually was a white guy, but he was real helpful in the Lower Richland community, and so he signed on to funding for us as well. And so Jermaine took his spot. So he stepped into some big shoes, and he actually filled it, and he's actually adding on to whatever Jimmy Bell's legacy was. And then Joe Neal, which is another representative, who was the district was District 7 and District 80. Jermaine was over 80, and Wendy Briley was over 70, but they combined it. That's because the censors, when people were filling out the censors, because a lot of people did not fill out the censors, they felt no need to have two counties, so they combined them. And that's why they end up having a runoff. Neither one of them was in office long. I think they both was in office like 6 months. And so they end up having to run for the spot who was going to take over District 70, because there's no longer a District 80. So yeah, man.
He's making moves. He's definitely solid,
Yeah. Yeah. And I've learned a lot working with the political realm of things. And people always say, why don't you run for office? I can't help the people if I'm running for office. Somebody else got to get viewed.
Right. So you only do what you can.
Everybody can't be at the White House. somebody got to be in the community. Somebody,
Right.
somebody got to have the ears and be able to, speak the lingo of the people and be able to translate for them up at the top. So I don't mind being where I'm doing what I'm doing to support. So I'm looking forward to the results that we're going to get with the USDA from helping out in the community, and hopefully we can get these packages approved for September 30th, because you know how they do with that AE in the feds.
Yeah.
They when they start getting closer in the year, they start spending money any kind of way,
Right.
or
Yeah.
they redirect funds somewhere else.
So they can get what they want off the top.
Right. And
Right.
so you seen that those 7 bills that they put in the play to try to get passed, what I was talking about on Tuesday, one being, they're pushing a lot of money in employment and now entrepreneurship. So I would encourage anyone who is in that age group where you possibly close to retirement, or you are looking for a different career field, to put your knowledge to paper and create workbooks or skill set workbooks. I was doing some research, and I know before I came out of the military, they used to talk about knowledge, skills, and abilities, but today I found out that they talk about knowledge, skills, and behaviors. That threw me for a minute. I had to do some research. Like, okay. So they kind of changing up some things. Because we always looking to see how we could, where we're gonna put the next grant in. And Shanisa had wrote a workbook on uh job readiness and employability skills. But now she needs to include the behavior aspect of it. So things are constantly changing. That's where the funding is at. If y'all looking towards it, if y'all looking to see how y'all going to get funded, locate employment, and virtual, and entrepreneurship based on contractual services. They trying to get uh, contracts into the women's hands, and you already know why for
Right.
that. Because the Caucasian males, they the 30% of the primes going to the subcontractors, and they're focused on subcontractors, but the subcontractors, they're definitely focusing on them getting the certs. And so that's a bill that they're passing. They're trying to put oversight on that. And so in order for them to win, they put their 51% on into their wives or their sisters or aunts or whatever, and that's how they're gonna win. So brothers out there, you need to be working with your girls. I know you want to be 100%, but when it comes to that contract world, they're giving favor. They look like they're gonna be giving favor to women in the next whatever years from a subcontract perspective on those larger contracts out there. So I would encourage you guys to look into that. And this is in the industries that where they're showing favor. A lot is going into infrastructure, just like with what we're doing. I probably go over a application. If you had a friend that's a general contractor, and they have all the bells and whistles in reference to that license, and you live in a rural area, this is easy money for them. Easy
Yeah.
money.
I do want to make a workbook, a financial literacy workbook
Go for it.
dealing with investing.
Go for it.
Yeah,
And
over Travis was wanting to do what they was already thinking about doing something, because they wanted to add something, today, within that spectrum of what they do on their side with the book stuff. He wanted to do something like that too. But that's definitely something that I feel like is more than no one's needed, because there are financial flashcards out there, but not a lot. But again, we talking about workbooks. I mean, there's stuff out there, of course, but y'all get my point. Everybody has a way where they can explain it a little bit more applicable to that value of that reader, right, or that end user. And for our perspective, and I'll speak that because we know it's universal from the aspect of it, but it is base agenda value too, right? Because there's not a lot of that that's being pushed in our communities, right? In terms of financial literacy, right? It's like, if your parents ain't about that life, then yeah, good luck. You're gonna learn it on the fly, right? But it needs to be a focal point of interest where it becomes non-negotiable, right?
Yes.
And so if you got kids, or like my son, when I got my screen on, he know daddy's work. He come, look, I explain whatever I can in real time, and I don't try to force it. I just like, yep, this, that. It's just enough to get his, keep his radar on, right? And like daddy's doing this or daddy's doing that or whatever. And so small things like that began to kind of set inside of his psyche, right? And the importance of it, So you can imagine what, a coloring book, financial coloring book, or financial, workbook or whatever, something like that, be from all age class. You do something for adolescent kid types, you could do something for middle schoolers, you could do something for high schoolers, within that same bracket to a degree. And that will be just monumental, again, in terms of far as the use case. So something worth well exploring. Something I think, is overdue, right? Because you think our brother Donis, right? Donis was doing just, the African children books, right? And he did very well, and he still have them, right? Within this, portfolio of things that he does besides the other stuff he's doing now. And I mean, it's little stuff like that, and but y'all get it. But definitely things that we need to explore, and continuously try to push that narrative because it's necessary. And I think it's going to be well received, given that we've watched, from the pandemic to now. If Juggle was able to buy their kids for the first time ever some stock in GameStop, because GameStop was going wild and they had no clue about this, they should be just as much excited about now investing in the education, right? And helping those kids realize what that was all about to a degree, right? And then they grow themselves, right? You grow together in the household. So I like the ideal of that. So shout out to you, Open Chris. Again, stuff that I already know you guys are, well and more equipped, and I'll add whatever I can, wherever I can, if you need help too, whenever we get ready to cross those bridges together. So shout out to that, guys. And unfortunately, I gotta get out of here real quick. I got something to do real quick, make a little move here for 4. Okay. And we'll double back. So hopefully I'm trying to get things done in a quickly fashion so we can do our session this evening. So if of course, if things work out, we'll get it in. If not, we may have to push it for Friday, but I'll try to, get stuff done in an expedited manner here. I was trying to make a little move early. I wanted to get out there at 3, but I was like, I did. We got going here. Yeah, we got going on here. So, you're like, you want to kill the energy. But, whatever, right? But still good and useful information regardless. Y'all know how this stuff work. We're going to put it on some good things to think about, and leave it out there for the, for the world. Whatever. So great build, great small little session here. Again, subscribe, right? Sister Monica channel, Monica Lamb, that is Monica Lamb, right? Subscribe to our brother Chris Wood's channel, YouTube channel, that is, right? Y'all see their name in the back chat. Go click on their name and go subscribe to their channels as well, right? Again, y'all, see what we're putting out here. So we want to support, support those who are supporting you with this information. So shout out to everybody. So thank you as well, Oba Sunday, for coming to build as well. The knowledge that you brought to as well. Shout out to you, everybody on the backside, YouTube, the whole tribe, right? Appreciate you guys as well. And so hopefully, get things knocked out. We get our little session in this evening here too. On top of that, not we might have to push it for Friday, but I'm gonna try to make it happen. Man, we like it about to rain too. It's gonna raining lately. Thunderstorm, man. But anyway, so that's it, guys. So hope y'all appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe on the way out the door. Have any questions, hit us up as always. We got groups, we got rooms, we got places where you can hang out with us as well throughout the day. We welcome to have you. Truly, we welcome to have you. And so don't hesitate to hit us up. Absolutely. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one, guys.
Peace, power, and profit.
Peace, power, profit, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye. Peace.
Peace, everyone. Peace. Peace.